The 3 Rules of Time Travel! Are you looking to time travel? Or are you maybe looking for a unique and fun vacation idea for you and your family? Then look no further, ladies and gents. Here at Keeping Up with the Nerds, Dr. Bravo here has the beginner's guide to time travel to make sure you all have an essential information you need for a safe and successful trip. Just follow these 3 simple rules, and your time in the past will be filled with long-lasting, relived memories that will last 2 or maybe 3 lifetimes, because the last thing you want is a catastrophic event to happen.
Keeping with the Nerds, informational videos are not subject to litigation. By continuing, you agree that any and all damages to timeline, universe...
No, Nick, you gotta take this seriously. They're gonna
I
sue
am
you.
taking it seriously.
No, Nick, okay, I'm gonna have to do it now, okay?
What part
No,
of this
I'm
is
gonna
not
do it,
serious?
Nick. We don't want to get sued.
We're not gonna get sued!
I'm doing this!
Keeping Up with the Nerds information videos are not subject to litigation. By continuing, you agree that any and all damages to any timelines, universes, paradoxes, or your responsibilities and cost of coverage will be handled by your responsible parties and not the Keeping Up with the Nerds variations that exist in said universe. Dr. Bravo is not a licensed practicing time traveling doctor.
Rule number 1, don't go changing your own timeline. Remember those pesky memories that never leave? Those moments that make you stare into the dark abyss of your repressed memories and serve as haunting moments that will forever shape who you are and why you have that one tick everyone points out? Well, those events happen for a reason, and we're here to tell you, don't change anything. In this example, Nick enjoys a book with good morals. What if we switch, and Nick reads one with bad morals? Rule number 2, don't change fixed points in time. Well, there's a saying that has been passed down from generation. Everything happens for a reason. Certain events shape people into who they are. Bully your friend? Maybe it makes them tougher. What if Nick here changes his perspective and no longer bullies Bryan? Rule number 3, don't get intimate. Why? Because it's weird, that's why. Plain and simple. What, you want to your own grandma? Stop being a perv, you creep. Keep it in your pants and just don't do it. Listen, sometimes you don't know who's who. And the last thing you want to end up being is your own grandpa. And that's it. The Beginner's Guide to Time Travel. This is Dr. Bravo signing off. Dr. Real Doctor.
Recording at 12920 Philadelphia Street, Whittier, California, at Undersea Comics. Keeping Up with the Nerds presents issue 152. My name is Rene.
Nick.
This is Bryan.
And welcome to the show, everyone.
Hey! Why are you looking at me like that?
Nothing. I put too much energy last week, so now I'm gonna be relaxed and calm.
Well, you know what? I'm
Yeah.
glad. I'm really glad you learned from your mistakes.
I always learn from my mistakes. What are you doing? Why are you moving the camera?
It may have moved.
I told you if it was good before we started
It
recording.
was, and then I moved it to push the button, and then I had to remove it again.
Welcome back, everyone, to issue 152 of Keeping Up with the Nerds. So let's get the formalities out of the way. KeepingUpWithTheNerds.com for all the up-to-date information. Check out our socials, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Don't forget to check out our podcast audio platforms on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. Leave a 5-star review where applicable, and go check out our YouTube channel. 160 subs.
Wow.
We're getting there. And we've started uploading reels on our socials, YouTube Shorts, and TikTok.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to check out bits and pieces of the podcast from every issue,
Don't talk with your mouth full.
you go check them out. Go subscribe to our YouTube. Let us know down below
Yes.
in the comment section. What do you guys think? You threw me the M&M. What do you
I
want to
know.
do? I wasn't done.
Hold it.
Hold it.
No, because then it starts melting my fingers.
Put it up your bum.
No.
That's how you get the chocolate faster. That's how it hits your bloodstream.
You know, we got a surprise, or actually, I got a surprise compliment from my brother about the show.
Really?
Yeah. So it's weird because it's like certain.
It's weird because it's a family member.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one thing for like a normal stranger to like
Yeah.
come by and be like,
Right,
hey,
right,
I've been
right.
listening to your show. It's great. You're like, oh, okay. Can't
So-
take a compliment. Thanks,
so-
man. But you
so
know,
what
whatever.
did he say?
So, because we went to my cousin's wedding over the week
Right.
in Santa Barbara, and my brother and I were just talking, and he's like, out of nowhere, he's just like, hey, so I've been checking out the Instagram and I've been following you guys' show, and you guys have been doing a pretty good job.
Oh.
And if there's any sort of criticism I can give you, it's just that you've been working on your deliveries, and it's been pretty good.
I've noticed that is our interactions have really been on more point.
They've been smoother.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? It's
What do you mean?
smoother interactions.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Smoother like this orange mango prime.
don't you advertise that stupid
No.
brand.
This is probably the only time I'll
This
buy
is
a prime.
This is the only time I'm allowing you to.
Yeah, this is the only time that I'm allowed.
I
'cause
bought
was
Sway
like,
this time, and I'm not.
We don't
like
even
that.
recognize it. And I bought the Rocks Zoe, or actually someone else. Who
I
it for me?
bought it.
Thank
I
you.
bought it, yeah.
Thank you.
Is
Rene
it
bought it for me.
It's Tia Mana, or what is it?
No, it's
Is it
called
filled with
Zoe.
jabroni juice?
What's it?
It's called Zao.
It doesn't matter what it is.
Yours is powered by jabronis. Mine's powered by Maverick. I can taste.
This makes me want to do the people's elbow, dude.
I can just taste.
You know what this one? You know what this tastes like? It tastes like that powdered energy drink.
Cool. No one asked.
It's watermelon.
Yeah, it's watermelon.
No one asked, Nick.
It's vegan.
Ew. You're vegan now?
Ooh, no.
You know what I mean?
Here, want to try some prime?
Yeah.
Get a little Maverick in you.
Ask me if I want to try Prime.
You want to try prime?
No.
It doesn't matter if you wanted to.
I mean, it definitely tastes like Logan Paul. That's how I imagine Logan Paul.
Does it make you want to go film a dead body in the middle of the woods?
I have this sudden urge to go to Japan now
Be a
and just
total-
ruin my career.
Dude, the guy
jackass.
made money.
Yeah. How is he still coming back?
Because look, he may be an asshole.
he filmed,
may be
he filmed a
stupid.
dead body. He invested in this.
Was that him or Justin Bieber?
What?
No, that was Justin Bieber.
No, Justin Bieber spit on fans from his balcony.
Didn't he also? Didn't Justin Bieber also write inside of the Anne Frank Museum? I think she would be a
What?
beaver. I think she would.
Belieber?
I think she would be a believer
I don't know.
inside the Anne Frank Museum.
God, I hope not.
No, he
I
didn't.
swear to God, look it up.
No
Yeah,
way.
look it
No,
up.
I hope not.
I don't know. I can't remember if it was Justin Bieber or Logan Paul. They're
So-
kind of the same person
Well,
at some
Justin
point.
Bieber's already on my crap list because he broke up with Selena Gomez. Why would you do that, dude?
He did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
In all fairness, Selena, did he break up with her or did she break up with him?
Or
Or,
did
I
they
don't know.
just break up at the same time?
They're like, I want to break up. At the same time.
Cheeks! You owe me a soda.
Just look
Ah!
up Anne Frank.
Don't. Why are we looking this
Oh,
up?
it's a tweet. Was it a tweet?
Oh,
yeah, it was a tweet.
R.I.P.
Yesterday, yeah, this was his tweet. Yesterday night, Justin Bieber. Oh no, wait.
That's from the Anne Frank Museum.
Oh, it's from the Anne Frank Museum.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Visited the Anne Frank house together with his friends and guards. Fans were waiting outside to see a glimpse of him. He stayed more than an hour in the museum. Really? Like, In our guest book, he wrote, "Truly inspiring to be able to come here. Anne was a great girl. Hopefully, she would have been a believer." Hold on, let me see what.
I swear to
It cuts
God.
off. It goes, "Tonight, Bieber will give
Why
a
are we
concert."
talking about this? This is cringe.
Oh my god!
Don't get me
is
wrong. This is a couple of years ago, but it
Yeah.
was
I
still
but
it's still pretty
it's
bad.
cringe, dude.
This is in what 2013?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because when you
The
go
height of
to a
Justin Bieber
museum
being
like
a
that, you
jerk.
really want to make it about yourself, right?
Yeah, he really tried. You know what? He started out so good,
It's a lot. So, I
but
mean,
then ended it with.
Never was a
I know
believer.
all he needed to do was end it at the,
Yeah.
before the
Never
last
was a believer.
sentence.
Yeah.
Never.
If he would have ended it before the last sentence, I think everybody would have been like, you know what? That's pretty cool. Also, why were you there for longer than an hour?
I know,
That's weird.
because the
What? I thought
I've
you
been
would
there.
need to be at a museum for longer than an hour.
It's not very big.
It's not, and then even if you do the whole
It's like a 30-minute tour.
yeah,
I've never been.
it's a third. I've done it before, and
You went to Anne Frank's house?
the museum of
Well, that's the Museum of Tolerance. I'm talking about
Yeah.
the Anne Frank house.
oh, you went to the house.
That's what that's from. That's from the Anne Frank
Oh,
house.
Okay,
I've been to the Museum of Tolerance.
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's like a mandatory school trip or something like that.
Oh, my
Is
school
it?
was pretty poor, so we never went there.
So you never went.
Yeah,
Okay.
I went to the Museum of Tolerance.
Yeah, we were already depressed. We didn't need to get a bit more depressed.
Yeah.
I went to the Museum of Tolerance.
Why are we talking about this? We don't
With-
need to be. There's
What?
no way we should
I went to the
diving into
Museum
the
of
subject.
Tolerance as a
And
chaperone,
Nick is in.
and that was terrible because we got kicked out.
Okay, I'm not gonna even ask what you did.
I
Let's just
didn't
leave
do
it at
anything.
that.
The kids did something.
Okay, well, you're a chaperone.
Listen, it
So
wasn't my.
their
That wasn't my group.
responsibility- that-
It was
they're your
not my group.
responsibility. They're
not
your
my group.
responsibility.
My group
Your
was nice,
responsibility
and they did fine.
as a chaperone.
The other group,
You've let them
yeah,
down. Yes.
I didn't let
Take
them do anything.
responsibility.
I didn't let them do anything.
Take responsibility. As an adult in charge of kids, if one kid messes up, that kid is a representation of you.
I actually think this happened when we were at Pioneer.
So
But we
comic
didn't go.
strips, guys.
I think this
what-
happened like the year after you left,
That's
or the year
thing
before I
left.
went to the year. I think it was when I was at El Rancho.
Cool. Comic strips.
comic strips.
Fine, whatever. My story doesn't matter anyway.
Your
We
stories
need
do
to
matter.
get into
Nick,
this issue.
you always matter. You always matter.
Can
Nick,
you
do
give me
you
the comic
want
strip?
time to talk about the Flash? That's what we're talking about today, guys.
We
The
just
Flash.
we can just keep on going reversing time. Apparently that works.
Can we reverse time to Anne Frank?
Can we? Stop.
I'm just saying.
Stop. Can we buy the world's smallest drum set? Yeah, so that way anytime Nick says something dumb, we just go, "Tudum," but we don't give him the. Tss.
What we need is to get a
soundboard?
A soundboard. We could plug it in.
No,
You know-
No,
we
and
don't
then you
because
could
the
just go,
moment we get a
"Doom."
soundboard, Nick has all the freedom to just keep pressing
I'm not
buttons.
saying give it to him.
Why not?
You could give it to you.
Why would I give it to myself? I don't even trust myself with that
Yeah,
Okay,
responsibility.
then give it to me.
Okay, fine. But then
I wouldn't
you're
trust you
easily
with it,
influenced by
yeah.
Nick.
I'm not easily influenced by Nick.
You're
I'll
just
take his.
influenced.
I'll take his opinions into consideration.
He's just actively
sometimes 9 times out of 10, they're good for the podcast. You know,
It makes it really funny.
content. You know, like
I'm just doing for what's
I'm
best
doing
for
it
the
for
show.
the viewers, man. For the people that decided to listen to us. You know, listen to 3 nerdy dudes. You know, and
Talk about-
listen to what we
Meet
have
up
to say.
every Friday night.
There's a reason why we have 100 views. You know?
Yeah.
160 subscribers.
Because we were,
Thank you, by the way.
it's because we talk about the Anne Frank Museum.
You know, these guys are so great.
That's where the views are.
Comic strips, segment of the show where we talk about things that don't merit a 10 to 15 minute conversation.
Yeah.
Nick tries not to tangent, which he's been doing a pretty good job at. Good job.
Already like
Too
5 minutes into this podcast. Tangent on Anne Frank.
Stop. Don't give him any more fuel.
What?
dude.
I'm just saying.
You realize that
I
this
can't
guy
even say
is
Anne
like
Frank.
you can't. If you say anything, he's gonna just go into that entire conversation and topic, dude.
Okay.
You just gotta.
Helen Keller.
He's,
Can you do anything with that?
Nothing that's politically
not
correct.
yet, dude. Not yet.
Nothing that's
It's
politically
like
correct.
every time he's like an ember, right? He's like Nick is like a wildfire. If we're gonna symbolize Nick with something,
Yeah.
he's a wildfire. If you keep feeding him content of the same subject matter, he's just gonna keep growing and growing and growing until we can't control him. That's it. And every time you switch the subject, he's like a little ember.
Do you think
gotta
you
be-
can control me?
No, that's why I say we don't.
you power over me?
For you.
God, do I ever want to control you? No.
If I was close to you, I'd just put my hand on your shoulder. Just
All right, we're already tangenting. 2 minutes into comic strips.
You're
2
welcome.
minutes in a comic strip.
I haven't even
Already
officially
over.
started
No.
the segment. And we're already
How many
tangenting.
comic strips do we have this
Not that many.
week? Okay.
Because you guys asked for a lot of time to talk about the Flash.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we're not going to go over an hour 30.
Okay.
Okay? You promise, Nick?
I have no guarantee on that one.
Promise,
The Flash
Nicholas?
was pretty bad.
Didn't we just say that it was okay?
The more we talk about it, the more I don't like it.
The more you open your mouth, I'm just gonna go do the opposite. Basically, subtext. Like,
So what if I say I don't like it? Are you going to like it?
No, I still don't like it. I was there
Cool.
first. You just
All right,
followed
moving
my
on.
thought.
Comic strips, the first part of comic strips. Streamer XQC has officially signed with new streaming platform Kick for 2 years, non-exclusive, $100 million deal.
Cool.
Kick, I see a lot of OnlyFans models going there
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know why?
because there's no like community guidelines yet.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Basically, it's like
So
the
is he
wild,
just gonna
wild
is
west
he,
of
is he
streaming.
just gonna stream naked? Like,
Dude,
is that,
I
is that
don't
what he's
He
gonna do?
could.
Look, I understand. This is my take. on it.
Eventually, it's gonna get policed.
Yes.
Eventually.
Eventually
Oh, yeah.
it will. Eventually
When
it
it
will.
picks up,
But
yeah.
here's my take on this, okay? Unpopular opinion. Streamers, some of them do, work really hard on their careers.
Yeah.
That's fine. Some of them have made smart investments.
Yeah.
Some of them have pursued other endeavors besides streaming
Yeah.
because they know that the platform doesn't succeed in the long run.
Yeah. Then there's some people that know how to work it.
And then there's some people that you give big loads of money to, and it's like, why?
We hungry, all right? Like, some of us gotta eat. You know? Like,
It's just, it's weird.
and if you gotta show your tatas, or
Just do it.
whip out your, whip
Sorry,
it
what?
out,
Whip.
whip it out.
Whip.
Listen, you tell me I can make $100 million a year by sending you photos of my feet. I'd do it.
I
100
do
mil.
it too. Yeah.
100 mil to stream on a website for like 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
With just pictures of my feet.
Ah,
If
dude.
there was a clientele of, that they wanted
People to
see
look at
us,
a fat, hairy person's
Yeah.
feet. Yes.
Yeah.
And you know
Or
what? Honestly,
if
it
we-
probably is.
If there was someone to be like, I want $1 million, I want to see Keeping Up with the Nerds shirtless on a podcast.
No.
All three of them. I would say yes.
for you.
If somebody was offering you $1 million, but all we add is foot cams, just cameras on our feet,
Yeah.
and we have to be barefoot, would you agree to it?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, it's
Because
$1
I at
million.
least want to do something with my career. I don't want easy
Okay,
money.
no, but okay.
It's
not-
a foot. You're
I
not.
don't want
it's-
easy money.
no, but you can invest that into the podcast.
Yeah.
That's
the
true.
thing. Yeah.
How about you guys?
$1 million.
get the 100?
No, you
guys
all
get the
three of us. That's
all
the
three of
deal.
us? I can't.
What? You're not doing
How about
anything
I think
weird.
about it? How about I think about it?
How do you think Jai Courtney got to where he's at?
I mean, what? Every person
Listen, people
in
have to
Hollywood
make
has some
sacrifice.
weird thing. Like, what is his name? Feet guy.
Which feet
Director.
guy?
Why can't I remember?
Oh, Quentin Tarantino?
Quentin Tarantino.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know why I forgot his name.
Why did you automatically go feet guy?
Because
It's funny how I knew what he was talking about when he said that.
why?
Yeah, honestly, I'm really curious.
Because I was thinking about like their weird quirk or whatever that.
That was his
For each
descriptor.
directors?
That
Yeah.
was his descriptor in your head.
If I was gonna say if we're talking movies, and I would have been like, oh, Kill Bill, Hateful Eight,
Yeah, but you
Pulp
went
Fiction.
feet-
But we were talking about like
So you
weird
went from
quirks.
feet to feet. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, dummy. Okay. What do you think I was trying to go into?
I don't know.
Nothing. Make that connection.
Whatever you're into.
I'm not into it. That's why I'm saying no. But now you know what? I've made my mind. No, we're not doing it. You just lost $1 million because you're being a jerk.
You lost $1 million.
No, because I said I was going to think about it, and then you decided to be a smartass.
We'll make a separate podcast all about feet. It'll be the same podcast, literally
Just feet.
just feet. We'll put like the feet up.
Keeping Up with the Nerds -1.
You know what? That would actually be really funny if just like you put googly eyes on feet,
stop,
and then
dude.
you just- and then you just kind of like wave them as you talk.
So are you saying that in order for us to like,
I'll give you $50,000 if you just stick your feet in pudding, like in a bowl
dude,
of pudding.
the more we
That
talk
isn't-
about it, the
yeah.
more creepy it gets.
It does.
Yeah,
That's what
it's
happens.
just not good.
Dude, that's the internet. Welcome
okay,
to the
well,
internet.
well, I don't know how to transition into the next subject without sounding really weird.
What did you put?
No, I was just going to talk about Disney Plus.
Disney Plus.
I'm just like, I don't know how to transition to this.
Speaking of weird feet stuff,
Speaking about weird kinks.
Disney Plus.
Pixar CEO Peter Docter
What?
said in a recent interview in Variety.
What was his name?
Peter Docter, I think is his name. I don't know if that's the
You mean
CEO's
Peter
name.
Doter?
Doter or Doctor? I don't know. I spelled Doctor on here. Doctor. Are you looking it up?
No. I'm just on my phone.
The computer's busy on his phone. I can't correct.
The guy with
Look up the Pixar CEO, please. Let's see what his name is.
I'm almost
I wouldn't
positive
laugh
it's
if it's
Peter.
Peter Doctor or Peter. What did you say?
Peter Doter.
Doter.
Peter Dinklage.
Doug Dimmadome.
Dude, if Peter Dinklage is in charge of Pixar, that would be awesome.
Peter.
Or just look Pixar. Why do I keep saying Pixar? Pixar
It's
CEO.
Pixar. It's Pixar.
Well,
Just look
anyways,
up
while he
the head
looks
of
it up,
Pixar.
okay, he said that the recent releases on Disney Plus has kind of transitioned the audiences to wait for certain movies to come out.
That's not who it is.
That's not who it is.
Yeah.
Not who that is. It's that. Wait, who was his? What was his name?
Peter Docter. This is what
Jim
I found.
Morrison.
Wait, is it? I know.
I
He's
said
the CEO.
Pixar CEO. Yeah.
You said the
The
CEO.
CEO.
You sure it's the CEO or who is the
Okay,
former?
Jim
this is
Morris.
the first time.
No, that's not who it is either.
Look
No,
up
that's-
Pixar Peter.
Pixar Peter. Why do I feel like I'm like
We gotta find this.
We're
We gotta
gonna-
find this
We're
man.
gonna get a picture of some dude's junk. I already know it.
Pixar.
Live
There we go.
fact checking on Keeping Up with the Nerds. Peter Doser, Doctor.
It's
It's Doctor.
it's Doctor.
I think it's a O. I think it's
He's an
Doser.
animator,
It
director.
says right there, Pete. Pete.
He's the chief creative
I know, but
officer. He's a CCO.
So CCO.
He's a
Yes.
CCO, not CCO.
But Jim Morris is the CEO.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the CCO.
But it's Peter Dooser.
Why did something come out about him? Did allegations come
No,
out?
I'm just saying that the whole thing. It was just a quote from Variety.
He's
that
in the
he
feed. That's a transition.
did- It's revealed.
It's revealed.
Does he like Subway?
No.
Is that where we're going with this?
Oh, that's even worse because he's into.
I hate you.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm looking at his picture.
Stop. Stop. Dude, stop.
Don't.
Stop, dude. Time out. You're in the corner. Go to your corner.
No.
You're done for 5 minutes. I'm timing you out for 5.
Is it the ears?
Anyways, he was saying that most audiences have started to transition on waiting for certain movies to come out on streaming services. Basically, the
Oh
quote
yeah,
that
there's
he
no
said.
money to put out a Pixar
No,
movie.
so he
now.
was saying it's more expensive for a family of 4 to go to a theater when they know they can just wait for it.
Well, that's true. Not only that, but also Pixar movies haven't been good.
So Andy and I have been talking. We talked about this on the way back home from Santa Barbara because she was excited to go see Elemental.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and then because there's always a Pixar movie that comes out right around her birthday.
There's a Pixar movie I think they were advertising for in front of Elementals. It's about
Carl's
a kid-
First Date
Which one?
or Carl's
The movie?
The short film, yeah.
No, I'm talking about a trailer. It was about a child that gets abducted by aliens and stuff. And they think, yeah, that looks good.
That one looks good, but that's
Yeah.
not Pixar, is it?
yeah, I thought it was Pixar.
So this is a minor tangent. The reason why Andy I think has a really good point. My wife, by the way, for our listeners that don't know, she has a really good point about Pixar films. Her basic idea of why Pixar movies haven't been good is because the theming for the Pixar movies in recent years has not been universal. It's been directors or the producers of these Pixar films have been wanting to deliver messages that are more on a personal level than a universal level. So you can't necessarily not compare, but you can't relate to these movies.
I would
entirely.
say the last really good one was probably Turning Red.
Turning Red was fun, but I kind of understand what she means because for me, I think the last good one was Up.
No.
Yeah, what was
think
what was
so?
after Up?
Look at the.
My favorite Pixar movie is Ratatouille.
Is that Pixar?
Yeah.
My favorite movie is the one I saw in theaters for the first time was A Bug's Life.
Okay.
That's my favorite.
I
Pixar
actually,
movie.
you know what's really funny? I remember going when I was a kid to the Bugs Life special premiere back when they used to do those kinds of
And
things.
he realized too late it was ants.
Kevin Spacey was there.
Kevin Spacey was there.
Just seeing all the
That got
young
dark
boys.
super fast. That got super dark. No, but it was
Oh,
but-
Meet Our Leader. That's what it was. Is it? Yeah.
yeah, Meet Our Leader.
Mhm.
Is it?
Hold on.
Is it a Pixar movie? I thought it was just a Disney movie. But anyway, but I do remember because they used to do it where they had like these events where Pixar used to. Pixar movies used to take 5 to 6 years to come out.
Mm-hmm. Now it feels like it's every other year.
No, their new thing is that you need to come out with a movie every year.
But these movies
Every
have been
year
in
to 2
development for a
years.
while. That's the thing is that it's look.
But they're not classics. I would never say that the last couple of Pixar movies that have come out I would show to my kids.
Luca wasn't bad.
I didn't think Luca
never
was like
saw
anything
Luca.
special.
Luca wasn't
Soul?
anything special, but Soul was okay. But like, here's the thing: when
I
it
was more excited for Soul over Luca. I watched Soul and it was good for what it was because I liked the dark humor in it.
But I wouldn't
Soul-
show that to my 5-year-old.
Oh, I would.
Soul is probably a movie that kind of has a universal theme.
Yeah.
I think if I had a 5-year-old and I were to show him Soul, they wouldn't get it.
No, that's where it becomes complicated. It's more for like young adults, if anything.
No, I'm showing it to my kid to be like, this is what death is like.
When you die, you
when you
become
die,
into this.
you become a little bloop thing. That's what you're gonna look forward to. All right. All right. Let's go to Chuck E. Cheese.
High five. Oh,
What was
God.
after Up?
Let's see.
Because to me, Up is the last good one that I think had a universal theme about dealing with loss.
Toy Story 3.
Cars 2.
Yeah,
3 was
you-
okay.
Brave.
Yeah, you get to lose.
Wait, Brave isn't Pixar?
What is it?
No, Brave was Pixar.
No, it's not.
Or is it Disney Animation? Is it on the Pixar
Technically,
list?
yeah, this is the Pixar list.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I guess I
Are
thought
we gonna trust you, or are we gonna trust the Wikipedia page?
No, because I remember Brave wasn't part of it when they bought what's
Pixar is it
called?
Pixar? Pixar Animation.
Distributed by Walt Disney Picture Studios. Yeah, it was Pixar Animated Studios.
Oh, okay, I guess it was.
Production company.
Get old,
Okay,
dude.
cool.
Get old. Humbled.
Oh my god.
Humbled.
Oh,
down.
you know what I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about when they bought Pixar. Because I remember, because they said that she was now a Disney princess. That's what.
Oh,
what I'm
that's
thinking.
right. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
How do you like that slice of humble pie?
No,
dude?
because I would
I
say
think-
Inside Out was good.
Inside Out.
Inside Out, because
Yeah, you know
Inside
what?
Out was good.
The Good Dinosaur. No one saw that.
Still haven't seen it.
I still
Coco
haven't
was
seen
good.
Coco was. Good.
Oh, was Coco after Up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Coco, I kind of
Finding
blocked out
Dory?
of my mind because that one made me feel things.
Finding Dory wasn't bad, but it wasn't great.
Why are you laughing?
Incredibles.
Do you even know
2?
why? Do you even know why?
I thought it
Tell
would
me
be-
why. Why are you laughing? Why did it make me feel things?
Because
I saw Coco. I saw Coco
Yeah.
after.
Is
my
that why
mom
you can't
died.
see Onward?
Dude, don't even go there.
You still haven't watched Onward,
No.
dude. You
Andy
watch
told me
Onward.
not to.
No, watch Onward.
Watch Onward.
No,
Onward.
because apparently it deals with dads.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm not. Okay, look, here's what's going to
That's
happen.
every
No,
Disney
no.
Pixar movie
Listen.
is a parent's
What,
death.
yes.
What,
Okay,
you can't
so-
watch Lion King now?
No, I can't.
What, when Mufasa dies, you're
Yes,
like,
that's
oh,
it.
ah! Is that how you are?
Brian, in The Lion King, it's literally the
Seek
circle
help.
of life.
Yeah.
Circle of life.
Yeah. Did you see the?
So here's
did you
what's
see
gonna
the?
happen.
Did you see
Here's
the
what's gonna
cutscene
happen.
from? Did you see the cutscene when they're just eating Mufasa?
Stop, dude.
His body had to
I
go
will
somewhere.
watch Onward,
So
but
we got
by
Coco.
myself.
We got
Dude, I
Incredibles 2.
I want to see that.
Why?
Wait, what?
I want to see you just watch Onward by yourself.
Yeah. And then
Cuddle
I'll
up
be
with
l-
Joey with like Haagen-Dazs.
Depressed
and
out
just
of my
in
mind.
a ball on the floor.
Even Andy was like, "Don't watch that movie." And I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "Cause
Elemental.
too close."
Lightyear was okay.
Lightyear was
Luca.
okay.
Lightyear could have been better because we had a lot of hype for Lightyear.
there was a lot. We were very positive about Lightyear, but like,
It was okay.
it's not a
Turning
movie
Red?
that we would watch about again.
I actually like Turning Red.
Turning Red.
Turning Red was
I saw it
good,
listed.
but
Turning
it
Red was a
didn't-
really
But
good
is it
recent
relatable?
months.
If you're a
Yes.
girl, yeah.
Okay.
Do Do you have parts down there? Do you have the right equipment?
Are we gonna stay quiet just to see how far he takes this joke?
No.
No.
Exactly.
I was gonna say, you never turned into a red panda. Like, you guys don't remember that?
See, that's a better joke.
That's part of
That's a
growing
better
up.
joke.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of surprised.
That's a better joke.
I'm just surprised.
All right.
I'm surprised
No,
it was
no,
a
no.
panda, not
Learn.
a shark.
Learn. That's strike 2, buddy. That's strike 2.
Don't make me pelt you with an M&M again.
Dude, don't.
I have weapons.
Yeah, last week it was coins. Now it's M&M's.
That's M&M's. I'd rather have M&M's than coins.
What's upcoming? What's at the bottom?
Inside Out 2
That was
to
hard.
be announced, and is it Ilo?
Elo.
Elo, is that the one?
I think so. Yeah, it's the new one that's coming out. We got to move on because we're already tangenting
Okay.
off by this too much.
Okay.
But yeah, so I kind of agree with him. There's a lot of these movies that it's like every year. It's every year there's always a Pixar movie, and none of these have really gotten that much hype for them.
Well,
like,
I was saying really quick. I was saying, so far, Elementals kind of looks like it's reflecting on the same story as like Soul, or not turning red, but just the whole like you got to break out of the social norm, kind of story.
From what I've seen with the reviews of Elemental,
Yeah.
is that Pixar movies do a really good job at teaching a lesson. And for like the young adults, it's not going to talk down to them. But apparently Elemental throws all that out the window and like talks down to its audience and goes like, this is why you shouldn't do this sort of thing. Yeah.
The other thing that I do notice about them is that I remember when I was a kid and Pixar movies were coming out, they were events.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Now it's just kind
Because
of like
they were coming
expected.
out like they came out whenever they were done.
Yeah.
They like what 5 maybe like there were like 4 or 5 years in between where because they would just work on one project and they would maybe near the end of it spread off to start working on their second project.
And then you would see like a self-made teaser for that movie where the teaser had nothing to do with the film, but you get to see of like the new animation style that they're doing.
Yeah.
But like a little hint of what it is. Like I remember seeing the Incredibles teaser with Mr. Incredible trying to put on the suit.
Yeah.
But the thing was that whole scene was never in the movie, in the final
Yeah,
act of
it was
the
him.
movie.
It was him stuck.
Now that you say that, I remember. It was like kind of like teases for the next
That's the
movie,
thing.
but never a reveal until it was like super close.
Yeah, like Finding
Monsters,
Nemo.
Inc.
Yeah, Monsters Inc. That was the same thing as well too. Even Finding Nemo, we just see Dory and Marvin swimming around.
Yeah, because there was always like a little short that they would have, and then
Yeah.
it would be like, oh yeah, this is our next move. This is the next project we're working on.
Wall-E did the same thing.
Yeah,
There's
and
this-
that's the thing though, is that these movies pop out so often now that it's kind of like how Star Wars movies kind of came out, where they come out every single year. They're not special anymore, and then also when I watch them, they're more or less the same thing. Like, it's not teaching me a new lesson. It's not teaching me some moral thing. It's the same lesson that happened in the last movie. It's just a different scenario.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Well, let's see. I'll probably wait for Elemental to pop up on Disney Plus. For me, there's
same.
no reason for me to go watch it.
I'll wait. It's gonna be up in like what, a month and a half?
Which is sad because I don't like seeing Andy sad. I don't. And she was just like, I was really excited, and then I see all these bad reviews, and now it just kind of sucks. So I told her, I'm like, do you want to go see Asteroid City? She's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, cool. Asteroid City's been getting great reviews.
When
Did you
does that
see
come out
Astro City?
officially?
It already came out this week, but
Okay.
it's fully released next week.
So is that select theaters?
Select theaters only. But there's this cute little picture of the town that they used to film Asteroid City. It's in the middle of nowhere in Spain.
I will probably never see that movie. I'm being serious. I will probably never see that movie.
Asteroid City?
Yeah, I'll probably never
You
see it.
disappointed.
Well, you and I wanted to see.
Yeah.
it.
I just can't. I
Okay,
can't.
cool. Well, then it's just Rene and I. Okay?
It's fine.
It's fine. Go to your corner.
No.
Strike 3. The Incredible Hulk.
Wait, what?
The Incredible Hulk.
Oh, I was like, why are you saying Incredible Hulk? Like it's a
The
thing.
Incredible Hulk.
Which one?
Okay.
The rights for the Hulk finally go back to Marvel Studios.
Yay!
The Bruce
Officially.
Banner one, or Edward Norton, Bruce
Edward
Banner,
Norton.
Mark Hamill. I mean Mark.
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill.
You won't like me when I'm angry.
Edward Norton's Incredible Hulk is coming to Disney Plus.
Yeah, I saw it already.
Yeah.
It was already on there.
Yeah, so that's good for them. And Disney Plus will be receiving 28 restored classic shorts from the Walt Disney Animation Studio.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the examples that will be coming out on Disney Plus July 7th: Skeleton Dance, Bath Day, or Skeleton Dance, the 1929 animation, Bath Day, the 1946 animation, Building a Building in 1933, and Goofy's Gymnastics, which is released in 1949. So it's cool that they're releasing these classic shorts as well. Let's see. Batman, Cape Crusader, is described as everything Bruce Timm wanted to show in the Batman animated series, but couldn't because it was a kid's show. Isn't that officially canceled though?
It was.
I think
or
it
is
was
in limbo.
I think it was in limbo, and then what was it? And then Kevin Conroy died, and now they're like, well, it's the last thing he worked on.
Did he do all the voice work for it already?
He did some.
He did like 4 episodes apparently. As just the voice for Batman, but they never finished it because they never really finished making it.
So when he says that this is everything that Bruce Timm wanted to show, is it just Nightwing having sex with Harley Quinn and then Batman just creepily having sex with Batgirl, like just, hey, I'm Batman. I'm Batman. I know you're dating my son, but you want to bang. He left, so you want to bang.
What's the Mask of the Phantasm, or what's that Batman movie that?
Which one? There's a lot of Batman.
Well, no,
movies.
duh. But I'm talking about
Mask
the
of Phantasm, Sub-Zero.
that one.
Okay.
Yes,
That
Mask of
one.
the Phantasm. Yes.
That one is supposedly, from what I remember, like a very darker, serious
Yes.
Batman animated series.
Yeah, because it went to theaters, so it was the first time it was a PG-13 movie, animated movie.
I think it came out 1998.
Yeah.
Which is fine, and I can kind of understand that description that it's everything Bruce Timm wanted to show and more. Because there were some very like darker. It could have gotten darker. Like I remember, which one, that Batman Beyond movie that came out with the Joker,
Return of the Joker.
Return of the Joker. It has like a short scene where
The Phantasm comes back.
really.
Phantasm's in Return of the Joker. She's gonna assassinate Terry McGinnis's parents.
Who shoots the Joker for real?
Oh wait, no, she's in Justice League. My bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I'm like, I don't remember that.
No, she's in.
But
she's
there's
in
a
the
scene
epilogue
where
of Justice League.
there's a
Never mind.
scene where one of the Robins
Tim
shoots
Drake.
the Joker. It's Tim Drake,
Tim
right?
Drake, yeah.
It's Tim Drake.
Shoots him, and then it's the Joker holding on to the flag because he actually got
It
shot.
says, and it says bang.
Bang
on
on it, yeah, right. So I could see this. I kind of want them to just keep working on the Cape Crusader,
Yeah.
even without Kevin Conroy. No disrespect.
No, it's not. That's the thing. But they just have to. It's a giant leap, though. If they keep the scenes that Kevin Conroy, obviously
They should.
They should. But it's a big leap moving forward after those episodes that
voice?
he filmed. Yeah, and then switching to a new voice.
I think that if you were gonna do that, I think to recognize it immediately. Like in the very beginning of the episode, just going in memoriam.
Which is fine.
Just
yeah.
like Batman gets throat punched. His
throat punch?
Yeah.
And then
He's
he,
like, it just sounds like Jensen Ackles. Oh, yes.
You guys want Jensen Ackles to be Batman?
Yes. In real life, yes.
Not Bruce-
as well, too.
Bruce
I want
Greenwood?
to see him in the suit.
Huh?
What?
What's his name? The other one? Greenwood?
what?
Bruce Greenwood?
Yeah.
Oh,
Bruce Greenwood's okay.
yeah.
I
He's-
kind of
he's good.
liked
I
him.
liked him in the Young Justice.
He's
show.
good in Young Justice. Isn't he also in Red Hood?
He was also in Red. He's done a couple.
He's done it a
animated.
couple of times, but
I think because we've had this discussion before, where it's like Jensen Ackles kind of had to grow on me a little bit because
But
I
Jens-
watched the last Halloween
he's gonna be in the new
or
one.
the Long Halloween.
Long Halloween.
He's gonna be in the new movie, in the new animated movie that's
Oh,
coming
yeah.
out.
Which one is that one?
It's like
It's like a new Justice League animated movie.
Justice
forget
League
which one.
movie.
Maybe
he's the go-to.
Yeah, right
like,
now, he's
continuity Batman right now.
Fine. So I'll give him another shot.
Don't say fine.
No,
Don't
it's-
disrespect.
be-
him
I
like
should
that.
disrespect
I liked
Jensen.
it, but
Jensen Ackles
it's
is-
not. There's certain Batman voices I need to get used to.
Yeah.
Bruce Greenwood, I had to get used to because to me as a kid, it was always Kevin Conroy.
Yeah.
And then I just
That's
got used to
fair.
Bruce Greenwood, and now I have to get used to Jensen Ackles.
I'm waiting for him to go.
Here's a piece of advice: build a bridge and get over it. Like, so, I mean,
That was hurtful.
that was. Yeah.
This was. Just
Yeah.
shut up.
Okay.
All right, fine.
God,
You know,
why are you so upset?
Because, man, maybe I didn't want to get over it. Okay, maybe I wanted to just,
People
enjoy.
died.
You want to bring?
Bruce Greenwood's not dead.
No, I'm saying Kevin Conroy.
That's fine.
yeah,
I did.
people
I'm not
died.
over it, but I'm
Yeah,
like
dude,
sad.
Sounds like you're not.
You know what? You
I
need to-
said I would want.
as the Batman fans, we're over it. We get
That's
it.
fine.
He died. He was
That's-
old.
That,
Who
that
said?
bridge was built, secured, and good to go. And you know what?
Listen,
I'm fine because I
not
got
only
I
did
reached
we
the other side.
hold on. Not only did we lose a Batman, we lost a Joker with him. Okay, don't you Don't you go down.
Mark Hamill will never
That's
be
right.
the Joker.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's true. No, that's true. That's true.
All right, we lost
That's fine.
we
That's
lost
fine.
one of the
Why are you
greatest
being
Jokers.
hostile?
Because you were hostile.
I'm not hostile.
Because we're Batman fans.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
All right, we're nerds.
Yeah, that's
So
how
am I.
Batman fans are.
Yeah, I'm throwing my sweat at you.
But it really hard. Dude, it looked like you went like you scraped underneath the
Just
armpits.
actually
dude.
grab something.
Dude, you're gross, man.
My gorilla powers.
Halloween's just around the corner. Who would have thought, dude? We're halfway through 2023 already.
Spooky, scary.
So October's around the corner. Universal Horror Nights, meaning it's almost that time of year. The Last of Us maze has officially been announced.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what we were talking about earlier. It's a shame that Universal didn't do a Five Nights at Freddy's because they have. Doesn't Blumhouse
Is Blumhouse owned by Universal?
No, but they work with them, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
they
think
do.
Universal distributes it.
Yes.
In all fairness, I think they're unsure how Five Nights at Freddy's is going to perform.
Yeah, because
I
what is
mean-
it? Because Five Nights at
When does
Freddy's.
the movie come out?
The movie comes out like October 27th, and it's gonna be on both Peacock
That's why.
and in theaters as well.
That's why. Because the movie is coming out in the middle of Horror Nights.
But still, maybe you would use the maze as ways to like advertise it. I mean, who's to say? It's kind of early. I know that they announced.
Why would I go for a for sure deal with Last of Us, and then I
Maybe
can do the
they
Five
could
Nights
do a
at Freddy's
mini
later.
maze.
Yeah,
I
October
don't-
27th.
I don't see a Five Nights at Freddy's maze be
Doing
anything
that.
elaborate. It's a pizzeria,
It's a
with
pizzeria
animatronics that
going
like. Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
That's it. So maybe.
Unless you show Foxy just like bolting it down the hallway. You're like, oh god!
I'm not gonna lie, that is what I want. That is what I want.
Just Foxy chasing you down the hallway.
Just Golden Freddy.
How funny would it be that like you don't see Foxy at all, and then the last
Where'd this
turn,
bitch go? You're like,
I'll trip you.
the last,
I'll
scene-
trip you. I don't care.
the last turn of that maze, it's just security cams, and then one of them just see Foxy bolt down the hallway. Just run to the nearest exit.
Then he just gets to the door.
He's right there. There's no way out, dude. You trip his ass. You're such a jerk.
I would hope there was another civilian next to us.
but if I'm the only one,
Sorry, bud. I love you, but
Oh my god, dude! I've never been to a Horror Nights.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
same.
have too much anxiety.
I've never been to a not Scary Farm or Horror Nights.
I've been to both. Universal. The mazes are better at Universal Studios.
Yeah,
Gives more
that's what I've
production
been
value.
Yeah.
But not Scary Farm is like the environment's cooler.
Yeah.
Really?
But they're both packed.
It's more of like, yeah, that's the thing. I hear like Not Scary Farm, like you could just walk around and people will just.
Yeah.
Yeah, the environment in general, because there's not really like a scare zone at Universal. It's more of like, oh, cool, these are like the things, like boo.
This is where you get booze.
Yeah, yeah. But then when you go to Not Scary Farm, it's there's a clown chasing you. You should maybe stop or like run.
Maybe stop.
I don't know.
Well, that's the thing is like.
How funny would it be?
What?
Sorry.
Okay,
Good.
no.
Sorry.
From what I've heard is that if you obviously do get scared or start running, then
They'll chase you.
They'll chase you. That's
Yeah.
the thing. That's part of the fun.
Yeah, exactly. How
The-
funny would it be?
People have
for-
told me that, and
Have
I'm
you
just
seen-
like, I'll just stand still.
Could we
I've
do-
been to a Not Scary Farm and they cut in line.
Oh,
Which was one
really?
of the funniest things in the world because I saw them go through the exit and they were looking and they found like a couple that was like the girl went
Oh, don't come to me.
like
yeah.
don't come to me
Yeah.
please, and then as soon as that couple got in and they locked them in, they then sat in the seat right behind them,
Oh, that's funny.
and then the entire time are just like you could see like their fingers on the
Dude,
other
that's
side,
messed
and this
up.
girl's just freaking out, just like, oh god,
Did you see-
this is the worst day.
I've seen funny footage, not security. I guess it's footage that they've done inside the mazes.
Yeah.
I don't know where, but it was like this couple's walking in, and this guy's holding his girlfriend's hand, and he let go for a split second, heard something, And it was one of the scare actors
He grabbed
right
their
behind
heads.
him, and he grabbed the scare actor's hand, and he's just bolting out of the maze.
And the guy's following?
Yeah, and the guy's following. He's all like this, just like holding his head. He looks back and he goes, and the girlfriend's like, "Where'd you go?" Apparently, it was like pitch black.
What if
too.
nerds take over Universal Horror Nights?
The one I do like about Not Scary Farm is that they actually do have a maze where you have to sign a waiver.
Oh yeah.
They have. There's one maze where they have it where they can touch you. They
I
can
know
do
which one it
everything
is. It's not the Weekend one that came out last year. Not the Walking Dead one, because that's always there.
It's kind of like an escape room esque.
Yeah, I heard about
Wait,
that one.
Oh yeah, that's right. The Weekend.
Yeah.
Had a maze. I was like, why is the Weekend having a maze?
I don't know, because
Why is why would that be scary?
Yeah, why would the Weekend be scary?
Because it's just the weekend on loop.
it's a Weekend on loop.
It's kind of like Clockwork Orange. Just,
Oh God!
And last but not least, let's end on this piece of comic strips to transition to our main topic of today. Andy Muschietti?
Muschietti.
So, two pieces of news that have come out about him.
What happened?
Oh my God!
he likes to dress
The
up.
way
like a
you
clown.
sound, the way you that sounded, it sounded like you're gonna come out.
What?
Yeah.
So
What'd he do? Decided to pull an Ezra.
He was like, "Well, apparently Ezra can get away with it, so why not?"
Yeah.
They announced earlier this week that he will be directing the new Batman Brave and the Bold
Yes.
movie.
Oh yeah.
And he also confirmed 3 more cameos that were cut from the Flash movie,
This guy
including
just keeps breaking my heart.
Linda Carter's Wonder Woman,
Okay.
Marlon Brando's Jor-El, and Cesar Romero's Joker.
We didn't get to see a bad CGI version of those characters.
No. Okay. So, to transition that, we'll end comic strips for this week. Let's move on to our main topic of The Flash. Here's the interesting thing about it. Before we begin, first of all, spoiler warnings. If you have not seen The Flash, pause the podcast right now. Go watch it if you're interested. If not, you want to just, listen to us because you don't support Ezra Miller, by all means, great. Thanks.
Here's
If
what
you
I have
want
to
to spend $20 to go see The Flash, come here to Uptown, see it for $5 on Tuesday or Thursday.
Or
Or
if they don't want to put money in a movie and support an actor like Ezra
Just
Miller,
wait till he gets
just
on
listen
Max.
to us.
yeah, that's true.
Or just wait till he gets on Max.
Or just listen to us.
It's going to
Send
be
your
on
friends.
Max in a month.
Send your friends the link to our show with this timestamp.
Yeah.
At this point,
45
and then we
minutes
can
in.
explain the Flash to you right now.
Okay. Here's the thing. I think for what Andy Muschietti was given, like just train wreck after train wreck, rewrite after rewrite, he did a pretty good job.
Yes.
On putting a movie together.
Oh, putting
So
a movie
that's the
together
thing.
that was
and
a decade in the making.
and I think I have to completely agree with you. Is what they had, and what the studio wanted from him.
And kept and
And like,
changing.
this is what we want. This is what you need to put in. This is what you're gonna do. Being told all of that, he did a good job.
Save the
in
movie.
Yeah.
Do what you can.
It's definitely a movie. It's
Got a
definitely
beginning, middle, and end.
It's got a beginning, a middle, and an end.
It's got an Act 1 and Act 2 and Act 3. It's
Yeah.
it's got main characters. It's got
It has,
supporting characters.
it has some development.
It's got a problem. It's got a climax. And it was put in a theater.
Yeah. So
So it's a movie.
So before this movie came out, there was so many early screenings that they were doing for this.
There
Test
were screenings that were out for
Surprise
like months
screenings, yeah.
before. Yeah.
we almost got a
Surprise
screening, I think, like 2 months ago.
Yeah. And most of those, like 75% of those reviews were
saying
saying
it was good.
It was really good. 50% of them said this is possibly the best comic book movie of all time, best superhero movie of all time. So that
Wasn't that James Gunn?
That was James Gunn.
was James Gunn, but then also just like reviewers in general. Like I've listened to certain reviewers that did on YouTube, like I think 3C Films or 3C Comics, that guy, he said this is the best Flash movie of all time. And I'm like, there's only one
Flash movie.
And I'm like,
I remember
okay.
listening, but I remember because I listened to Christian Harloff, and he went to an early screening. He went to a press screening, and he was like, "Is it good? It's good. But it's not the greatest superhero movie in the world. It
Yeah.
has problems, but it's
a
good.
lot of problems.
It's got a lot of problems, but it's good.
There was even speculation that Tom Cruise saw an early screening of this movie. He was given an early screening, saw it, called Andy Muschietti, the director, and told him he did a really good job. I was like, okay, that's cool.
Okay, so this movie's been in development for 10 years.
But that's the thing, though, is
10
that
years.
I don't really know
And
the drafts
pre-production longer than that.
Yeah, and I
Yes.
don't really know the drafts it's gone through, because originally this was going to be a 1-for-1 Flashpoint movie.
Well, we know one draft of this film before this whole before the whole Ezra thing, before the whole James Gunn taking over as DC. They were going to move forward with Supergirl and Batgirl as the main DC hitters.
Yeah.
moving
Yes.
forward in the new DC universe, or
Yes,
in the
before
DCEU.
before Discover Warner.
Yeah. And that Michael Keaton was going to be integrated into this new universe as well too. That his Batman was going to be integrated because he was going to be in the new Batgirl movie alongside with Brendan
That's
Fraser.
right.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that.
That's the thing. So that was interesting that, that was one iteration where we were going to get before this whole thing.
I really want to see that Batgirl movie now.
No, same here. I kind of
It's
want to see
done.
it. But no,
It's-
it's done.
it's
and
de-
they
it's
only
it's in
aired
a
it to everyone that basically did the film.
Yeah, that worked on it.
Supposedly out of respect. It wasn't even
Yeah.
because they didn't want to.
No.
I'm telling you right now, 10 years from now, they're going to go Batgirl and just release it.
Probably.
Because at that point, nobody's going to care.
Straight from the Warner Brothers vault.
You
like
know
from the
what?
Disney vault?
I
Yeah.
don't think so. I think that this movie's dead. It's dead.
Batgirl?
Batgirl.
No, it'll
it'll
get
never
leaked.
be. No,
It'll get leaked.
It'll get leaked, but it won't be it won't be a Disneyfied out of the vaults of Warner Brothers, we present to you Batgirl.
It could.
'cause
It
there's
could,
no way.
It could get some traction later on, kind of like how the Snyder Cut did.
But that was because of a campaign, and that campaign
I
was
can
like
see
a
the campaign.
massive,
I can
massive. If
see that.
there was a campaign for Batgirl, it should have happened. It should have happened months ago.
I'm calling it right now. Either when probably when Keaton dies.
Oh, you know what? That makes sense.
When
yeah.
when Keaton passes,
Did Keaton work on the Batgirl?
He was on. He was
he
the
was Batman.
Batman in that one.
he was that Batman.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, he was supposed to be integrated
Okay.
into the DCEU.
That's why they scrapped it,
Mm-hmm.
because they were like, that isn't gonna make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because what happens to Keaton here?
Yeah. Well, that and also
then James Gunn wasn't gonna move forward with that movie. He goes, it was either we either get rid of Flash or get rid of Batgirl. I
That
think
should have
that's
been,
what it was.
if anything, it should have been a straight to DVD movie.
in all fairness, I don't know if I'm okay with that. Like, I think they should just went with Batgirl.
That's the thing. I don't know.
With everything that's behind
He-
the Flash.
The thing is that this movie, because the reason why this movie is released at all is because Warner Brothers put into both production and marketing a total of $300 million.
Yeah, this movie is insane.
Expensive.
it's
300
super
million,
expensive.
million total or just recently?
No, this is total.
Total. In
Because
10
it
years.
put in a 200 in production, 100 million into marketing as well too.
And I love the fact that this is a Batman movie. This is just
Basically is.
another Batman movie.
No,
that's all this is.
that's kind of the best way to explain it. So the easiest way to explain this movie for the audiences that haven't seen it, think of, if you guys don't know Flashpoint, it's the important bits and pieces. All of that in the Flashpoint
all
is
of them.
gone. It's scrapped. They don't care
They-
about the Flashpoint, but they
took
care.
the basic idea of Barry going back in time and doing technically a selfish act,
Yes.
and then coming back and then realizing that what he
messed
did
up.
changed a lot of the DC.
They took the
universe.
basic foundation of the Flashpoint
Yeah.
and said that this is what we're going to work on.
That's all they took.
And
That was
then the entirety of the story is based around Michael Keaton's Batman kind of saying like, okay, I'll join along your guys' adventure to stop Jor-El from basically destroying the world. Zod. Zod. Sorry.
to clear up why Michael Keaton is in this movie is because
We don't know either.
We
No,
they took. See what I told you this on the ride home, where he said that the timeline we were told, like, in movies when it comes to time traveling, we're thinking this is your main timeline.
It's linear.
Yeah, when you go and change something in the past, you start an alternate timeline.
It becomes an
Loki.
access.
Yeah. Loki
It becomes
explains.
an-
Loki explains.
No,
that.
it's completely because he said it's a branch.
No. Let me finish.
Okay.
Okay. If what Keaton was explaining in timelines at first was what Loki was saying, where a timeline is linear. The moment you create an action, the line diverges out. That's what Loki was explaining. That was what was it called? The critical point or something like that?
Yeah. The Nexus event.
The Nexus event. So that's, in other words, that's what people assume the timeline to be. Keaton's explanation of a timeline is that when you go back to do something else, the perception of time isn't that it's linear and parallel to one another.
It becomes an axis.
It's an axis. And there's certain points where these timelines will intersect with one another. And I kind of like that scene because it was so mixed. It was well mixed into what was going on in the scene that it didn't like feel so out of place. Because Keaton is basically, I mean, this is what we're gonna say about Batman. For how he was introduced. Batman did his job so well that Gotham is now the safest place to live.
Yeah.
And so he's retired, old. The Wayne Manor is basically just not taken care of, and
Alfred's dead.
Alfred's dead, and they show Keaton long hair like a hobo, basically.
Yeah.
And so he's still smart, so he's explaining to both Barrys this is how the timeline works, and he uses pasta because he's making pasta to eat, and so he's using uncooked pasta to show the intersections of time. So he said that because he goes back in time, the timelines will interact with one another. So because he saved his mom, his timeline and this timeline connected. So that's why he's the Batman of this universe.
Which it's weird because it was a long explanation from basically saying when you go back in time, you're merging two universes into one time.
But possibilities.
But the other thing is that it was really weird too because I felt like they had to have an extra explanation added onto that one because he then goes, "But you're older."
Yes.
Like why? I don't understand why you're older.
But then he
dumps
the pasta on the bowl.
But that's the thing though, is that there's a lot of things inside of this movie where I purposefully changed it because I didn't want it to be exactly like Flashpoint. That's it.
Yeah.
I went out of my way to change things in this because I didn't want to make it a 1-for-1 of Flashpoint. The problem is that Flashpoint did it better.
Yeah.
It has a better story. It has a better integration of the two stories. It has not necessarily a better explanation of time travel.
Flashpoint knew what it was doing. It knew what story to tell.
But the problem is that in Flashpoint, you have a villain. You actually do have, because in this movie, Zod is kind of the villain.
He's not he's a villain the same way the Spot was a villain in Across the Spider-Verse.
No, the Spot is an actual villain.
No, because the Spot was a villain, but he wasn't integral to the actual story. Like he wasn't integral in moving the story forward and across the universe.
No, but
he set up the reason why the multiverses exist.
What I'm saying is that Zod is an event that always happens.
Yes.
Zod, no matter what, always happens.
What is it called? An intersecting point or something like that is what they referred it to?
Yeah.
An intersecting point?
But the thing is that inside of this, because the whole point is that Barry...
intersecting point is basically a canon event.
Yeah, it's a canon event.
It's essentially a canon event. Or a fixed point in time.
Yeah, or a nexus point.
Not a nexus point.
It's basically...
It happens
they did
every
it
single time.
In the Doctor Strange short of What If. They explained it. It's like an event that's always supposed to happen no matter what.
Yes.
So basically, there's nothing that you can move around. You can't change
always
that.
happens.
Zod is one of them.
Zod's one of
Alfred
them.
Bruce having an
Alfred is always another.
And the same thing with Barry finding out that his mother's death has to happen.
Yes.
In order for him to be the Flash.
Yes.
That's why we get this new universe that's basically dying.
Yes.
Because ironically, his mom doesn't die, he doesn't get a thing at the science lab, which means he doesn't become the Flash.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't have gotten his powers. So the idea for the movie in general, just so that way we can kind of go over it, Flash, they start the movie, Flash is kind of spending his days. He's part of the Justice League. Yeah. They're going between cities.
This is the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, the beginning of the movie, they're going between cities, and he's kind of helping it. He's trying to help everybody out.
He's the janitor of the Justice League.
He's like the cleanup crew.
He's kind of like the cleanup crew, and he's there to help to kind of pick up things. And he always says, I notice that I'm always picking up after Batman. Like, most of all, I'm always picking up after Batman. While he's doing that, more or less, he's able to save everybody from this hospital thing. And while he's running, he's upset, and he ends up figuring out, I can run through time. I can actually run through time, and I can change certain events.
You can access the Speed Force.
Yes, in which That's
that
the other thing that's kind of interesting too, because he just had terms for stuff like Speed Force, phasing. What was it? The fact that he's now called the Flash.
Yeah,
Be
so
fair.
all that's explained in the comic book that came out a couple of months back called The Flash, the Fastest Man Alive.
What happened in the comic book?
Oh, basically each comic book, each issue was him figuring out a new power that he can do. Issue 1 was phasing. Issue 2 was like, oh, how do I...
Because he got the name from Grant Gustin. Because Grant Gustin goes, "What? Because you're the Flash," and then he goes, "The Flash."
Oh, in that crossover.
In the crossover, he goes, "The Flash," and then like afterwards, he's like, "The Flash."
Which again, they
Like, I like it.
they never touched on to that moment.
They never touch on that moment, but that's how he gets his name called the Flash.
To be fair, the Flash always was doomed to fail that way because he was introduced in the Justice League movie as a character who already existed and kind of already understood what his assignment was.
Right.
There was no way that they could have actually
but
given an origin story.
Anyway,
The thing is, though, is that in order to get how Flash can harness this power, you kind of do need to watch the Snyder Cut of this movie.
You do.
yes.
Because they take aspects of how powerful Barry can be when it comes to him running in the Snyder Cut, not
That's
in
true.
the Josh Whedon
Oh yeah,
Justice
no,
League.
because if you have the Joss Whedon, it's like,
you go
whoa,
off
this
of
guy's
that-
way faster now.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like,
They
wow,
also
he's
limit
more
his
powerful.
powers.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They really downplay of how powerful Flash can be in the Josh Whedon cut.
So anyway,
Here, they downplay it here. That's what I meant to say. Because in this movie, in the Flash movie, the one thing I noticed is that they always reference the fact that he can't consistently run for long periods of time because he'll run low on calories, which is shown in that scene that you're talking about,
I
the
know.
hospital.
The thing that's interesting though is that happens in every Flash comic book.
It does.
Because in reality, if you have a peak Flash who has all of his abilities and is fully charged and everything like that, he solves every problem.
There is only one powerful Flash in the DC universe, and that's Wally West.
Yeah.
Wally West has proven that he is actually more faster than Barry Allen.
Yeah, that he's the fastest man alive.
Barry is fast. He's really fast, but again, it's more he has to keep up with his calorie intake. And stuff like that.
But that's besides the point. So Barry then figures out that he can go back in time. He's trying to save his dad because his dad's going up for parole. He finds out that his dad can't be saved because he never looked up inside of some security footage. His dad's going on parole for the murder of his mom. After that, Barry then gets the idea of, I can go back in time. Tells Bruce. Bruce says, don't do it. That's a bad idea. Don't do it.
That was in the trailer.
Yeah, it was in the trailer. He ends up not listening to Bruce, goes back in time, puts the can of tomatoes in his mom's basket, so that way she doesn't forget
Which is
them.
kind of a
and
stupid
it's
thing.
a really dumb
It's like,
idea.
I get it. Like, oh, the reason your mom died is because she forgot one grocery item.
Yeah.
So because she did that, like...
Well, it was interesting. They decided to. I think it was they thought really hard of like how can we do this without introducing the Reverse Flash?
How do we do it so that way it doesn't copy the show?
so
That's the thing.
You're
The
gonna
show or the comic book.
Yeah.
That's going to foreshadow something, okay? That
But-
I have a problem with.
But that's the
afterwards.
thing, though, is that doesn't make it.
Don't. If
That doesn't
What?
make any sense.
What?
you're foreshadowing something that I have a problem with the movie.
Okay,
Okay.
say it now then.
So
You brought it up.
we know why the mom dies.
Yeah.
And it's kind of explained at the end of the movie because we can literally skip all the second act. It's
Yeah.
basically he meets Michael Keaton Batman
That's it,
because Zod is an inevitable point in
Yes.
this universe. He's going to destroy the Earth. None of the metahumans exist because in this
He gets
universe,
pushed out. He gets pushed out by Black Flash as he's running back,
Yeah, exactly.
and then he gets pushed out 10 years early.
Yes.
and it's like 4 days before
He gets
Zod
his powers.
attacks.
I was talking to him about the what was it? It was the quantum bubble,
No, it's the Chrono Bowl.
the Chrono Bowl. The way that they did time traveling in this one, I didn't mind it. The whole
No, it was
when
pretty
he's
good.
running and he's in this
Coliseum.
Like,
Yeah.
it's like a Coliseum kind of thing, and it's like he's going.
Then he can run back and forth.
Yeah.
Like the more he runs, the more past events are coming closer to him.
Yeah.
And then he runs backwards.
Yeah, and he runs backwards. He can go. It's like it's going towards the future. And
Yeah.
stuff like that, which I liked. And then I liked the whole peeking, so he can kind of like
See where he's at.
Yeah.
You see him. You see his face, and you're like, oh, okay.
There were moments of brilliance in certain aspects like
That's the
that.
thing.
Which
That's
is
what I'm
fine.
saying.
Yeah, there were. So Move away from the mic just a little bit.
That's why I'm saying Andy Muschietti did a great job. Andy did do a really good job.
Stop.
I'm doing it for Nick because Nick does it. And I know it's part of you. So.
Yes. Okay, so anyway,
Black Flash.
so Black Flash kicks him out.
The second act again can just be described as him meeting younger self.
He accidentally
no
loses his
metahumans,
powers, and they're trying to figure out how to save this world.
and he says, "Okay, Michael Keaton is Batman here." They meet him. They try to go save Clark Kal-El. It's not him. It's
Kara.
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 Isn't it Kara? Is what she says.
It's Kara.
Just Kara?
It's Kara.
I thought I heard it was a Kara. That's
No, it's Kara.
Point
it's
being,
Kara Zor-El.
It's Supergirl.
Like 3 R's. Okay.
That's what I thought. Okay.
It's Kara. Yeah. How long did you think she was talking? Like, did you have a stutter in yours?
No, I thought I heard Kara, dude.
Is there a lag in your theater? My name is Kara.
In giving young Barry his powers.
I thought of Chris Pine's face from
Dungeons
Dungeons
and
and
Dragons?
I'm Kara.
In giving Barry Allen his powers, old Barry loses his.
Yeah.
So then they do the Flashpoint thing where he electrocutes himself.
Yeah.
to try
I
to
actually
get those
did
powers.
like that.
That was pretty good.
That was pretty cool because that was pulled from the Flashpoint comic.
Yeah. And then the third act is basically the giant fight scene you see in the trailer between the Kryptonians and the Flashes and Batman.
I'm not
and
gonna lie.
Supergirl.
I'm not gonna lie. I think it would have been cooler if you would have had Atlanteans versus Amazons
Amazonians
just attacking each other.
versus
Just
Amazon the company.
the Amazon.
Jeffrey Bezos.
Just Jeffrey
in the
Bezos.
front line.
Just see his bald. just this guy with.
These are my Amazonians.
It's just a bunch of Amazon trucks.
Truck drivers.
It's all the vests.
It's the Amazon truck drivers just driving with all the warehouse workers. Like,
See Jason Momoa. We have to stop them. No, but
It's his army of minimum wage workers.
no, man.
they're especially mad because I underpaid them.
So
Let's
just get through this.
We had to cut their lunch by
Swear to
5 minutes.
Swear to God.
This is not a laughing matter, but this is Jeff Bezos' Amazon.
But okay,
Sucks.
so
It's terrible.
so they end up fighting. I thought it was funny because this what I didn't even realize until it was pointed out to me. The fact of the fight with Zod takes so long. Like that actual initial attack where Zod is attacking.
Yeah.
Kara had enough time to go see the beginning of the attack, come back to Gotham.
No, yeah,
then
that's what
Barry had enough time to get his powers back. Then
Travel.
then other Barry made made a suit. Then they got in the jet, travel, and Zod is still attacking.
It's still the same day.
And it's still the same day in Metropolis. And that was pointed out to me today, and I went, "Oh my God, you're right!"
Yeah.
There was
She went and saw Zod and was like, "Oh no."
yeah.
Also,
not
yeah.
only that, but also Zod was nice enough for her to leave.
Also,
He saw her and went, and then she booked, and he
Just
went,
left.
"All right, well, I guess she'll come back."
also note that when they leave the Batcave, it's nighttime in Gotham, or it's like morning.
I forget where the battle took place in the desert.
Was it by Metropolis?
I would imagine so.
Probably not.
because the
Regardless
wo-
of it.
Well, because the World Engine is in Metropolis, which is right next to Gotham.
Yeah, and the other side of that, because it was like on the opposite side. So it was like at Metropolis, and it was like the other side of the world, which was like in the ocean.
So the end of
Right.
this,
So
Yeah.
that's why I'm like, this is very weird.
Yeah.
The time,
So unless okay, so here's Metropolis, and then it was like, okay, this is where the final battle is. It's like that's the World Engine apparently in Flash.
yeah, because he says you have 24 hours.
Yeah.
To give us the Kryptonian. So that means that they made it to Russia, saved Kara, then brought her back to Gotham. Allowed her to then get powered up. Then she shot over there.
Yeah, and she got powered up at Gotham, which was rarely. And if you think about Gotham in general, it's rarely sunny. And
yeah, it's all that smog.
yeah, and then but she was able to
that Joker gas.
charge fully, and then right after that, it just went immediately rain weather, ready for Barry to do it.
It was just kind of like, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then this happened.
So as the movie ends, you get this. It really sells the fact that the inevitable outcome of this universe is that it dies. Zod wins. And young Barry is so fixated on the fact that he can travel through time that he goes back constantly to keep trying to save this universe because he finds out that his mom lives in this universe. He wasn't meant to find out, but he overhears.
I did think it was funny because it was also pointed out to me of without Superman, we all die.
Yeah.
And Kara, not gonna cut it.
She couldn't do it.
Couldn't cut it as like the fighter, even though she's as strong, if not probably more powerful.
I'm
than
sorry,
She's
Superman.
supposed to be more powerful.
She's supposed to be way more powerful.
So
Is
in
the
the comic
blade of-
books, she's supposed to retain yellow sun radiation more potent than
It's
than
Kryptonian metal, so yes.
What?
Because it was Zod stabs her so easily.
Yeah.
So is it made of
Kryptonite?
kryptonite?
No.
No. Okay. See. No. That's the thing. See,
It's a
when
krypton-
when people think like that, this is I literally had to take a breath because I got so mad at you right now.
It's a Kryptonian metal, so it
So
works.
Superman is and he's
Impenetrable.
impenetrable
Yeah.
to anything on Earth.
Yes.
Kryptonian metal is alien metal. That's the thing.
Yes.
And
From
which
his
is-
homeworld.
From his homeworld. That's the thing.
So that can hurt
So
him.
that could hurt him.
Yes.
So anything that's not based on Earth, I'm already assuming can hurt Superman or magic.
Yes.
Too. So that's my.
I figured that, but it was just so poorly placed that it's just kind of like that's how you defeat her.
Yeah.
Oh, where she like holds him and like she kind of has an upper hand, and then he just goes, "Ka-ta!"
Yeah, like
and then
I
like
think
stabs her in
that's
the
what you
back,
should
and then
be
she
more
falls.
mad about. Because to me, my thought process is like, okay, let's not make her stupid.
No,
But they made her stupid.
But she just got her powers.
True.
True.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
But in my head, I'm trying to make sense of like, how is it that it's this easy to kill her? And that's why my mind went like,
Well, I don't think he was killing her when he stabbed her. I think it stopped her. It slowed her down because she's, something stabbed her. So it's a pain.
Well, because it went through here.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming
Through her
it punctured. It punctured probably her heart.
yeah.
And she was bleeding out, and then they got the jigger, and then
Don't say that again, please.
the thingy,
Yeah.
the thingy.
You're so close, dude.
I know.
So close.
That was, oh man, I was like, ah!
They got the little sucker thingy, and then they stabbed it into her, and then they went.
Yeah, they got the sucker for the codex. For the codex.
They got the codex sucker,
Yeah,
and then
the codex
they
sucker.
sucked
There
it
you
out
go,
of her.
yeah.
Yeah, they got the. I couldn't remember what it was called.
The codex.
They got the codex sucker, and then they sucked it all out of her, and then she died. And then they were like, "Well, Kara's dead."
Zod's like, I'm done sucking.
And then Zod's like, "I win. Time to leave."
It's just such a dumb way to die. And that's probably why I was trying to make something
Well, it
interesting
was-
out of it.
I thought it was funny too when Batman does his kamikaze run, and he just slams into the thing, and he's like,
nothing
"I'm not
very
going."
bugged by this about any Superman being Supergirl, Superwoman, Superman, whatever,
Yeah.
right?
About it.
Is that whenever they get stabbed,
Yeah.
it's like, let me put it this way. Michael Keaton Batman gets his back broken,
Yeah.
and he still manages to stand up and see the Kryptonian get neck blasted by a bomb he planted there.
Well, I
right?
mean, his back he had like a lot of internal bleeding.
True.
Like,
That's fine.
He got
But
smashed to the ground by
anytime
Kryptonian.
In comic books, in the animated series, in movies, when Superman gets stabbed once, he goes, ugh,
because
and then he just falls.
because
And
Superman's
he's like,
a baby.
exactly. And I think that's what bugs me.
Wow.
That's why I'm like, because it's like, why is it that Batman, a human being,
Yeah.
can take a pummeling,
I
right?
think
and
for
still
me-
have the
yeah.
guts to stand up
Yeah.
and see his enemy die? Or die,
Yeah.
right? But Superman gets stabbed by one tiny piece of Kryptonian metal, and he's like, ugh.
Because he
I think-
can't get hurt by anything.
I think for me is when you say that because I'm just like I don't care for Superman. I can care less what
that's
happens
fine.
to Superman, so I'm fine with that.
See,
and I'm fine with Batman
this is-
being the being the the one that's like, I'm gonna take all the hits.
But
and
this
stuff
is
like that.
why you and I are friends, because you don't care about Superman at all.
That's-
I grew up around a lot of people that wouldn't shut up about Superman.
That's
And so-
actually the reason why I like Batman Beyond Superman, because he's really cool, and the fact that because there's a scene inside of Batman Beyond comics where they take away Superman's powers, like he's in a room with Red Sun, and then they're like, well, what are you gonna do now, Superman? And then he goes, it's a good thing I trained with Batman for the last 15 years. And then you just see him go into a karate stance and just like go like, oh, okay. And then like afterwards, like Terry asks him, he's like, oh, he goes, why would you train with Batman? And he goes, because Batman said I kept getting my butt kicked whenever Red Sun happened.
That's true. Yeah.
So
That's fine.
So he told me I should probably learn martial arts.
I'm sorry I offended you by asking about if it's kryptonite.
Yeah.
But understand that I'm trying to make sense as to why Kara gets stabbed by one tiny needle
It's alien metal.
and she just passes out.
Well, also he did stab her through the spine.
And
was a
Batman
long
dealt with
thing.
internal bleeding.
The blade was like that.
Bro, I don't care.
You know how tight that suit is?
If this goes inside of you, you won't walk the same again. Right?
You just need 30 more seconds.
Did you see Michael Keaton? He got some pudge.
Yeah.
And then he went inside the suit. He had no pudge. That thing is tight.
He was carbo loaded from eating spaghetti. All right,
Dude.
He was amped.
Dude,
Like,
that thing is tight. It's keeping all the blood in.
keeps everything together.
Yeah, and then that's why when Barry's trying to take it off, he's like, "No, stop! You're killing me." No, stop!
This is holding all the internal bleeding.
If you do that, I die. And then Barry opens up like one section and then he dies.
Yeah.
He was like, "No, you fool!"
All right, so this movie ends with a fight between him and Dark Flash and the, what is it called, Chronosphere?
Chronoball.
Chrono Ball. It's young Barry who basically spends so much time in the Speed
can't let
Force
go.
that he can't let go. And then there's this conversation. Help me understand this, okay? In like 30 seconds, because we got to move on. Got to talk about the rest of the movie. He says, Dark Flash, this is the end of the movie, right? Dark Flash says, I've tried and I've tried and I've tried to save this universe from dying, and I realize that there's one intersecting point that is preventing me from saving this universe, and it's the creation of you, which is older Barry, giving him the power. So in order to save this universe, he has to destroy the thing that he created. So he then tries to stab old Barry.
Because if old Barry doesn't come back in time, then
that
Kara
means,
never gets saved, and then she's still in Russia.
and Barry, this young
And
Barry,
young
never
Barry.
gets his powers
Yes.
because older Barry is the one that takes him.
But Zod still destroys the Earth.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Well, that's
so
the thing, though.
then the universe isn't safe.
Well, it's funny though because Zod was very reasonable, and Zod goes, "Give me the Kryptonium," and then, unfortunately, the government then went, "I can't. Batman just kidnapped her.
I don't have the Kryptonium. We don't have it.
We no longer have the Kryptonian because Batman
what?
kidnapped her."
Wasn't
Can you
Zod
imagine
gonna
that conversation? He's like, "Where's the Kryptonian?" And then the cover's like, "Listen, man, we were about to get the Kryptonian, and Batman had to be a dick and decided to take it, and now
We don't know where she is.
we don't know where she is, man."
But
I'm
wasn't,
assuming Gotham.
but wasn't Zod going to terraform the Earth anyways?
Yeah.
Well, he was gonna. Yeah.
So
he's
the
gonna-
universe is doomed anyways.
Yeah, I wouldn't
no matter
trust
what.
Michael Shannon with anything, like he said, because you see that guy's face. I know
He murdered
So
an
then
infant.
it makes no sense. And here's the
did.
other thing. Here's
Yeah,
the other
he
thing that makes me
murdered a
upset
baby.
about this. Young Barry, in the entire interaction of the Chrono Bowl, right, is going back in time constantly to try to prevent this from happening.
Young Barry,
Meanwhile,
right?
Young Barry.
Yes.
We see, and I mean, this is probably the only cool part, even though it's terrible CGI. All the universes from the multiverse of the DCU colliding together. You see,
It's essentially Crisis on Infinite. You're seeing Crisis on
basically.
Infinite Earths.
I like the reveal of each of like the different multiverses Superman. They're all just like this.
Which also they're seeing reality rip apart, and they're all just going like, "That's dope." Like, look at the view, guys.
Nicolas Cage
Nicolas Cage
Superman
is-
was probably the best reveal because he's just like
Oh yeah, he's all
parts hair.
he comes out.
Which also, I don't know how much they spent on Nicolas Cage Superman, but they were like, "Oh, we got to keep using it." Like, 'cause
probably-
they showed him 3 times.
They
I
showed
just killed a giant spider. Now there's a hole in reality.
I'm not gonna lie. Him fighting a giant spider was pretty cool. I would have watched that. I would have watched that movie.
That's the thing. That was the most obscure thing in the Death of Superman. Like one of the producers, like, I want him to fight a
John
giant
Peters.
spider. Yeah,
With
was
John
that it?
Peters. Yeah,
That was one of
that's
the
really in
stipulations.
I
the,
remember we talked about this
because that was in Kevin Smith's in his script.
That was one of the stipulations that the producers had. He's all like, well, if I'm putting money into this, have him fight a giant spider.
Yeah, he gave him three. He gave him 3 rules: can't be in the suit, he can't fly, and he has to fight a giant spider in the 3rd act.
Yeah,
but he lives against the giant spider. He doesn't die.
What?
Yeah.
He doesn't die against the giant spider.
No, he has to fight a giant spider in the 3rd
okay.
act. Yeah, but he can't. But he can't be in the suit, and he can't fly.
But he
and
was
they
in the
worked
suit.
around that so well too, because one of the ideas was that they're gonna have Brainiac in the film.
No, Brainiac was in the film.
Yeah, and then Brainiac was gonna have like this like black cloak thing and his head and be like in a glass jar or whatever, or just his head. And then when he took off his cloak, he would have giant spider legs.
Okay.
It was gonna look pretty sick.
And I was like, you know what?
We've seen
I'm
it.
for that.
Have you seen The Death of Superman Lives?
No.
Oh, dude, it's a good movie. It's
The
a really good
the
movie.
animated
about
or-
no. They talk. No, it's a documentary specifically
Oh.
about the
By
movie,
John
The
Schnepp,
Death of
right?
Superman.
We talked about it in
Yeah,
I
John
remember.
Schnepp did it. It's really good.
And they show footage of just Nicolas Cage in the suit and stuff.
Yeah,
like
but
So I've seen the footage of it. Hang on, we tangent off to the point. Explain to me why young Barry has a change of heart and saves old Barry from getting stabbed by the Dark
because
Flash.
young Barry still likes older Barry,
Mm-hmm.
so he's trying to be a hero.
So then what interaction at what point made young Barry turn into the Dark Flash?
He was.
It was
He
him-
said he pushed Barry out.
Yeah.
He said this happened to me because I pushed you out of the Chrono
He
Ball.
wanted to become Dark Flash. He knew that if he pushed Barry into 10 years before his own timeline, he would have become Flash through older Barry. He goes, that's why I needed you to be in this time frame so I can get my
Well,
powers.
that was the thing though, is that he also says when we were here, my mistake was I pushed you out of the bowl, and I did this by myself. So I kept going and going and going and going, and I've been doing it for centuries. That's why I'm so old. And he has like all the pieces of like Kryptonian metal all around him, which also make no sense. Unlike
Sure. Okay.
how he hasn't died yet.
So we get to the final part of the movie.
Yes.
He realizes he has to let go. He puts the can of tomato sauce back where it belongs and has this sentimental moment with his mom where he
all
says, I
like,
love you and
just
miss you.
this.
So a can of tomato sauce kills the mom.
So I thought it was really funny. I thought it was so funny because
Tomatoes killed my mom.
I was thinking about it, and he was like, Barry goes, I gotta fix my mistake. I gotta get the tomato sauce that I put inside inside my mom's basket, and I gotta put it over here because any little thing I do, that changes the future.
But then
I'm gonna get all the tomato sauces, and I'm gonna move them up here so my pops can look up, because that won't change the future at all. Okay.
so I'm like,
I was like, so you just redid the same mistake?
we'll revisit this part.
Essentially, yeah.
right.
He learned, but then he didn't learn.
I was like, that's literally the same mistake. And then he gets back to the future and things are different. And he's like, oh.
No, nothing's different. Hey, okay, so everything is still the same in this
More or less.
More or less, right? So the cans of tomatoes go from the bottom to the top, which freezes Dad because Daddy looks up. Fine. The question that doesn't get answered is who kills the mom?
Oh, so I was talking about this on the way home. But I think that was the attempt to do that in the second film.
There's no
Like-
second film though.
But that's the thing, though, is that if there
I'm
was a
talking
second
about when
film,
this movie was first thought out.
In
Not
2010.
now, obviously.
yeah, when they were gonna do it, they were gonna get
Technical.
Barry. Essentially,
All right.
Barry was gonna. I think what was gonna happen was that Barry was gonna.
Barry kills his mom.
No, 'cause that's the thing.
To do this.
I thought it was so weird too.
It's okay.
Because
I do to let
'cause
go.
I was re-going over it, and then I would say that Barry's living in the suburb, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
It's probably like a Saturday afternoon,
Yeah.
2:00.
Yeah.
who the heck gets robbed at 2:00 in the middle of the suburbs?
It
and
just
nobody
doesn't make
sees,
sense.
and
No, that's
nobody
true.
sees anything.
Like I feel like the whole neighborhood would be on watch if they see like a shady person with either a beanie or even like a
Like
a
going
hood.
in.
Yeah, walking around the neighborhood being like.
Also,
Nope,
there's
not this
no
house.
way to connect the dad's
Not this
alibi
house.
with the car not being there.
Like there's
Right?
street
Because-
cameras.
Not even street cameras,
Okay,
but
so
like
they explained a lot of stuff.
They
in this
did.
Movie. Yeah, that
they
was
did.
their mistake.
Well, the timeline that he goes back to in present time isn't changed at all, except for one moment, which is probably the best moment of the movie.
It's one of them.
For me, it's the best because I wasn't invested until this point. I was like,
Really?
yeah.
You got all the way to the last 5
Yeah,
minutes of this movie?
Yeah,
And
and
then I'm
took it
just
all the way
like-
to the end to be like, I'm in. Credits.
Damn it!
You know what? I love this movie. Credits. Like,
Dang it!
You know what?
Sequel?
Now I'm a believer. Now I'm a believer.
Because
I'm a
Bruce
believer.
Wayne. Bruce Wayne rolls up, right? And you think, oh, it's Ben Affleck, Bruce Wayne.
he's
Nah,
driving the
fam.
same car.
Here's my thing: when I saw who walked out of the car, I thought it was Ben Affleck in old makeup. I didn't realize who it
even-
was.
Or like it could have been like
Wait,
Michael
hold on.
Keaton in like integrated.
Like
Oh,
first,
because you saw the gray hair?
I saw the gray hair, and I'm like, why did they put him in? Like, how did he get old? Like, it makes no sense. You move tomato sauces from the lower to the top, and Ben Affleck goes old. Nah, takes off the glasses. George freaking Clooney.
No, and that was awesome. That was really cool.
That was the best moment for me.
That was-
that point made Brian a believer.
That
And then
made-
out
that
of the
made
theater,
him-
he's walking
that
out, so,
made him-
baby, oh.
No, so here's my thing for all of that. I think that it's okay. I mean, it's a lot
Dude,
of like
we got
it's a lot of like
out of the living Batman.
This turned into, hey, remember Batman?
Remember this one? This one can't do it anymore. This one's dead.
Well,
Well, we got George
Hey,
Clooney.
guys.
there is a Val Kilmer and there's a Val Kilmer
Yeah.
picture.
But yes, that's fine. But we don't get a walking Val Kilmer.
Well,
Well,
no, because he's
Yeah.
he can't talk.
No, of course not.
Honestly, I would have been okay if Val Kilmer was just staring into like the scene, just standing there as like a hole rips apart.
Yeah.
But come on, George Clooney is like Bruce Wayne again. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't expect that. I was like, oh,
Well, okay, and then
Bruh.
so there's an after credit scene.
It's funny though. We are now showing love for George Clooney
Yeah,
as Batman.
I'm happy
All
that
of a
we're
sudden.
giving-
because it was if we knew that it was George Clooney at the end,
Mhm.
I don't think it would have gotten the same reaction.
I knew it was.
Did
Yeah,
people
he-
cheer at your guys' viewing?
Yeah, when George Clooney popped up.
Yeah. Did you hear? Oh,
I-
long story short, I
I-
couldn't watch it with them because I had a wedding to go on Thursday, so I watched it early
Who
Friday.
has
morning.
weddings on Thursday?
Cheaper. I already told you this.
Cheapskates?
No, cheaper.
You know what else
It's
is
cheaper to
cheaper?
book weddings.
You know what else is cheaper? Don't get married.
Okay.
I'm just saying. Save yourself a lot of money.
Da-da-da-da-da. So
Oh,
anyway,
this is the little drum. You don't get the.
the when
I
I
don't get the.
when I was a kid, we used to always do that.
I think everyone used to.
No, but we used to like throw it, and then like 5 minutes later, someone would go
Wow.
to land the joke.
Anyway,
You know
George
what? Whatever.
Clooney.
So my big thing so there was an after credit scene and everything else.
No one cares
and,
about the after credit scene.
Well, no, because it actually does kind of matter.
The dialogue.
The dialogue matters because he then said that I went to
hold
different.
on. So it's Arthur Curry, aka
Yes.
Aquaman, and Barry Allen Flash coming out of a bar.
And
and then-
Aquaman's drunk.
Yeah, Aquaman's drunk, but it's Barry explaining what just happened. It's
Yeah,
like-
he's basically going through the whole thing, and he goes, "I went to there was just Batman everywhere. Like I've been to different I've been to different timelines.
Every time.
and every time there's always a different
Yeah.
There's always a different Batman, but you're a constant. You're always the same person."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, so like there's not other me's?"
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, "No, like you're always Aquaman. You're always Arthur Curry," which falls into line with when James Gunn said, "Oh yeah, he's staying Aquaman. Like even after everything else, we're gonna keep Jason Momoa. We're gonna etch or sketch everything else, and then we're gonna give him a new mirror.
Which
we're
is a
gonna
shame
give everything
because
else."
Gal
and-
Gadot is such a good Wonder Woman. I like
Which
her.
I love that they still kept her.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
showed her.
Really quick, we did laugh at the joke of when Batman gets his holding onto the lasso of
Oh,
truth.
that
He
was
goes,
so good.
I loved it when he says, "Oh, if I really wanted to stop crime, I would stop poverty." I was like,
instead of beating up villains, I could just stop poverty and then stop it altogether.
Yeah, stop crimes.
I think my favorite line of the Lasso of Truth was when Barry was just like, I joke about sex, but it's only because I haven't had any.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like they're
confirms that
both
he's a
trying to
virgin.
get it off of them, and Gal Gadot's just laughing, which is funny because you can tell that they all weren't in the same room, and you can tell that all four of them weren't in the same room. But anyway, the thing is that
this movie was made during COVID as well too. That's another thing.
Yeah.
They were
So-
filming this during COVID.
So here's my thing though. So with the whole movie done, everything else, I feel that for one, Black Flash was a lame villain.
He fought himself.
Not only that, but also he showed up for literally 10 minutes, for like maybe 3 minutes,
Yeah, he
killed
wasn't an
himself.
overarching villain,
Killed himself, and then vanished. And then you were like, okay, cool, well that's done. That was a problem that kind of solved itself.
Yeah.
And everything else, they went to too much of an extreme to explain why Batman is older when all you had to do is just go, it's Thomas Wayne. Like, it's just Batman's dad. Just take that and instead of it being Michael Keaton, just make it Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Like, I understand, oh yeah, we want to show off, like, you know, Keaton, and that's going to be cool and everything else.
Yeah.
Like, let's get Keaton back in the bat suit. That's really sick. But if you're going to do it, at least have, like, a reason for it.
I get why though, because you said dialogue was important in the mid or after credit scene, right? Dialogue was important there. I feel like the dialogue for this was important because what they were trying to explain is that in every universe there's a different Batman, which kind of explains why there's so many different Batman movies with different actors, which kind of also solidifies why the Robert Pattinson Batman exists
Takes
and why
place,
it can
yeah.
continue to exist, because you have that. If you would have done a Thomas Wayne, it would have just been a standalone movie, and I feel like what this movie is suffering from is that it's a movie not for itself, but to lay a foundation for why the DCU continues to exist.
But is it though? Because even James Gunn is saying, but what Blue Beetle is my first movie.
Which is fine, but they've mentioned Batman there. So now the question is, who is the Batman in the Blue Beetle?
That's James Gunn's Batman that hasn't come out yet.
Yeah, and that's Andy Muschietti's.
Yeah.
That's whoever he casts as Batman will go on further. But essentially, after Aquaman, this is all done. Because also, does that mean that this new changed universe with George Clooney, is that Aquaman 2 universe, or is that the old universe that Barry changed? That's the tricky part you get into when you start meddling with things too much.
Yeah.
Because now that you have like the George Clooney cameo, it's cool, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's cool, whatever. But when you're trying to set up a bunch of things for movies that will never happen, everything falls flat, and then you don't know what matters.
Yeah, which I completely agree on that. It's, again, it falls victim to time, to this idea of like, how do you write time travel in stories? You have way too much freedom that you forget to lay a foundation, and now you start to think about where this movie lies with the rest of them.
Well, that's the thing. There's a lot of elements that are not good in this movie's favor. You have this whole reset of the universe after this movie comes out. You have Ezra Miller. You also have, just this movie went through so many rewrites, so many different changes, so many different reshoots as well too, that this movie wasn't going to be perfect nor a great movie to begin with. This was always going to be how this movie was going to turn out. It was going to be okay. It was going to be fun, but it wasn't going to be good.
Not only that, but also I thought it was so weird.
Check audience RT, please.
I thought it was so weird that we saw a lot of Batman love. We saw a lot of there was just a ton of Superman and Batman love in this movie, but there was not a lot of Flash love.
Which brings me to this last point of conversation.
Because the two people who played Flash were never asked to be in it.
No, yeah. This brings me to the last point of this segment, because we got to wrap up soon. Andy Muschietti has been very vocal over the last couple of
Audience
weeks.
what again?
The audience Rotten Tomato score
Oh,
for The Flash.
Sorry.
He's been very talkative over the last couple of days, basically about this movie,
Months.
right? Months. But in the last couple of days,
He
he's kind
spoiled
of
like 80% of his movie.
He did. And I think that I'm glad he didn't spoil the George Clooney one because, again, that's my favorite part. But what he recently said about this movie is the CGI, that it was purposely done bad because it's the way that we get to see Barry viewing the world as he's traveling at that speed. You're not buying it. Your face says it all. You don't buy that explanation. Neither do I. Right?
I ran out of money and I need an explanation.
Yeah, we're gonna do half-assed Blender rendered, perceptions of people.
It'll do.
It looks like claymation. It didn't look, or not. Excuse me. That's an insult to claymation. It just doesn't look good.
Don't get me wrong. If it's stylized, that's different.
Yeah.
Like if because mind you, in the Chrono Bowl, I don't mind that.
Yeah.
That seems stylized animation. I'm totally fine with that being kind of like weird. I'm talking about like, oh yeah, when Ezra Miller is talking to Ezra Miller and there's always kind of like a fog around his face and you're kind of like, oh, that's the one that had a stand-in. Like, that's the fake Ezra Miller, that's the fake Ezra Miller, that's the fake Ezra Miller. Like, you can spot it.
Yeah.
Like, you could spot when Ezra Miller was like either not there or when they just got his face and then put it on somebody else.
Yeah.
And that is kind of tricky because it looks like also they got it from different scenes, cropped it, and then put it in that scene for different reaction takes. And that doesn't work all the time. Honestly, it looks terrible.
Yeah. The audience score for this movie is at an 86.
Yes.
In critics, it's 66. I think this is one of the very rare occasions I agree with the critics. It's a 6 out of 10 for me. It's not a good movie. It's an okay movie. And it's not a movie I would recommend to people to go watch. I would recommend it only to people that have followed the DCU to this point.
Yeah, if you're already invested into the DC universe and stuff like that. For me, I think really quick, I like this movie overall in a DC movie aspect.
Yes.
Comic book movie or superhero movie aspect, no.
Better than Wonder Woman 86.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's not.
Better than both Aquaman movies.
You haven't seen the second one.
Or better than the first. I forget that the...
How do you know? I mean, don't get me wrong.
It's you related to the second Aquaman movie. I'm actually going to stand by this statement.
No,
it's better than both Aquaman movies.
In all fairness, I've heard some people at test screenings have walked out of
There
how
you go.
bad the
So-
new Aquaman movie is.
This is the first time I agree with the 66. I think it is a 6 out of 10. Yeah. The 86, if you enjoyed it, cool. You said it earlier. It's an ode to Batman. It's
That's the
Batman
thing.
love. And it's a shame because
It's a lot of Batman and Superman love.
it's a lot of Batman and Superman love, and it's in a movie called The Flash, which sucks.
I wanted to see more odes to the Flash. I
Yes.
wanted to see, John Wesley Shipp is the first person to ever put on a Flash costume.
Yeah.
The fact that you got Teddy Sears to play Jay Garrick as like a nod to, oh, that's Jay Garrick. Why would you pick the guy who played Zoom? That's literally, oh, I saw Teddy Sears in the outfit, in the Jay Garrick outfit, and I thought he looked good.
Yeah.
So I had him put it back on,
Again,
and I had him run it.
It's Warner Brothers just being part lazy and just not really knowing what the audience wants.
Now,
Because I think if you would have had John Wesley Shipp with the helmet on, had him in the actual suit running, I think people would have lost their minds. And then especially if you would have then, because honestly, I thought if you would have had a node to the Flashes and gone, oh, cool, you also see a Barry Allen from the Arrowverse running, and you see, the
like
Arrow.
Grant Gustin and
You
all
have
of
Grant Gustin's Barry running, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. And you see, a little Stephen Amell, and it's like, okay, cool.
the
That
center
just
of
ended.
every universe is a Flash running through time.
Yeah, and you can
That would've been
have,
cool.
and you could have had it different stuff. You could have even had like a girl running, and you could have been like, oh, that's Jesse Quick.
Or show
oh,
off
that's-
a Wally West in one of them.
Yeah, show off a Wally, show off a Jesse Quick, show off a Cobalt Blue, show off all the Flashes, because we saw a lot of cool cameos but we didn't see all the flashes that were in the centers of
Part
them.
of that idea is to blame for this, which is part of what you were saying. Andy Muschietti also came out and said that no one can play the Flash like Ezra Miller can.
No.
And I'm very bothered by that statement because as much as the Flash show wasn't good, Grant Gustin was a great Barry Allen and a great Flash. You could easily get him to continue the Flash story.
I think
and the Flash,
he's done.
He's done. That's it's understandable. We would never want to force any actor to come back to a role, especially after they've been doing it for how many years? 9 or 10.
Put the suit on. Put it on.
You know what?
Ezra's a weirdo. You get in there.
No, remember, this is how they run. They run like this.
No, which I thought was so weird because like you just see him do that and his leg up and everything else, and then I was like, "What is he doing?"
I think honestly that was an Ezra Miller choice.
That's
Probably.
an Ezra because
I even make fun of it when he loses his powers and he runs like that.
and he runs weird and he's like all like running and he's like his hands are all flopping and everything else. Because I know Grant Gustin even said too. I spoke with like actual Olympic like sprinters, and that's how I got this.
Yeah, but you're right. You could have just done variations of the Flash at the center of every universe, and that could have been a cool homage to all the different Flashes that exist. But I don't understand why it's so difficult for Warner Brothers and DC to just appreciate the Flash. Like it shouldn't be this difficult. The Flash has a rich history.
He does.
He's loved by a lot of people. The running joke amongst the nerd community is to make fun of Aquaman. Yet, for whatever reason, it feels like DC and Warner Brothers are kind of using the Flash as like
Their punching bag?
Yeah. And it's such a weird thing to kind of see. It should be Aquaman.
Again, it's
You can't make fun of Jason Momoa. Look
No, you exactly.
look at that guy. You gonna make fun of him?
Hell no.
You gotta make fun of that guy. He'll beat you up.
Comes crashing through the door right now.
Oh yeah.
What were we gonna say, Rene? I got it. It's towards the end of the show.
And but
That was also a good use of the F bomb too. What the F is that?
You get one.
Get one. But
First F-bomb of year 3. Perfect.
No, I'm talking at the end of the movie
no,
too.
the end of the movie. Remember at the end of the movie, Barry uses the F bomb when he sees George Clooney. He goes, "Who the F is this?" He goes,
Does he really?
Yeah, he drops an F bomb.
Oh, I think I was in more shock that I didn't even
I think you were
realize it.
screaming, and then you couldn't hear him say the F
I
bomb.
couldn't see again.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, is this happening?"
Is this real life?
And then he missed Ezra Miller saying, "Who the F is this?"
I saw the tooth fell, and I was just like, that's the only thing I remember.
No.
I mean, yeah, you're right. I was internally screaming.
You're all, oh, his tooth fell. Okay. Credits.
How
First
sticky?
the G.I. Joe card, now George Clooney. What's next?
How sticky were you when you left?
What do you mean?
I'm just saying. If you couldn't hear anything around you, I could only imagine what was happening. You just. Ah! That's why you had a shower, huh? That's why you had a shower before the show.
Let's wrap up our final thoughts
Well,
of
hold
The
on.
Flash.
You were saying something. You were saying.
Yeah.
I forgot, honestly.
He was so engrossed in the
I was
fact
so
that I was
engrossed
just
in the bit,
lost
that's
with George
why.
Clooney.
Yeah. But if anything, my closing thoughts on The Flash overall. I enjoyed it for what it was. I really did like it. It's not my favorite comic book movie. It's not even my favorite superhero movie. Those two contenders go to both the Batman and Winter Soldier. But I had fun in the beginning. I liked the sequence of him saving everyone from the
Saving the
hospital,
babies, saving everything else.
You know, I even liked the closing credits of the dog.
Oh, yeah, that was a fun
I
one.
enjoyed
cute.
that.
Yeah, it was cute.
Yeah, it was cool. I got a little worried though when he put the baby in the microwave. I was like, are we getting a little Ezra tendencies right now? Like, what's
It
going on?
also doesn't help that when he saves the babies,
It dings?
It dings.
Yeah.
Like
it's
in
finished?
that entire fall.
Yeah.
I will say, sorry. They explain moving at hyperspeed is bad for the body in this movie,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Yes.
I like that.
Okay.
That's why the Flash always flicks people
Yeah,
in
he
a
always
direction.
slowly pushes
Because
people.
that's how it is. And I'm like, that's a good explanation.
Well, that's true
Yeah.
because they explain that why older Barry, when young Barry moves him,
What did you do? I only moved you a little bit.
He was like, he's puking, he's holding it.
He's like, why?
It was like they took footage from him in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Like, carrying him out of the house.
But it's not your favorite movie.
It's not my favorite.
Did you think it was okay?
I thought it was good. I give it a solid 7.
Okay.
It's a good hard 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nick?
Favorite DC film? No. Well,
I would still give
number
it to the
2
Snyder.
favorite DC
I would still
film.
give it to the Snyder cut on that one.
Nah, it's too long. That's why.
Oh.
If a movie has chapters, you lost me.
It's favorite number 2 or 3. Right now, number 1 favorite DC film is The Batman.
The Batman automatically wins. That's an unfair fight.
Yeah, it's an unfair fight.
Yeah.
But anyway, I liked it. I enjoyed it for what it was. Like, Rene said, the only thing I was upset about was the fact that we didn't get enough Flash. Like, there wasn't a lot of, especially if
Do you want to see more of Ezra Miller?
No, but I mean, I wanted to see more odes to the Flash. I wanted to see more, I wanted to see them talk about other Flashes, talk about other things, other Flash villains. If they would have opened up and he was just, instead of helping Batman, stopping Captain Cold or,
Mirror Man.
doing it. Because that's one thing that's really cool about the Flash is that the Flash has his own rogues gallery.
He's got a good one too.
And he's and not only that, but also he's kind of friends with some of them.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of them that he has kind of like this love-hate relationship where like even if he was like stopping the Trickster, that would have been awesome. Give me a weird one. But there wasn't a lot of nodes to the Flash. It was, Batman, the Falcones, the Wonder Woman, Superman, this, that, and everything else. And it was kind of like the Flash can't carry his own movie. Mm-hmm. We need all these other people to really carry him through
Which
this.
sucks. That
I
sucks.
think originally they probably saw that before the whole Ezra Miller thing. They saw we don't have enough Flash in here. In the reshoots, they probably were gonna put more Flash stuff than Ezra happened. They're like,
Can't do it.
yeah, we got to trim down his scenes now.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate thing because honestly, I wanted to see more Flash. I do think it's a real shame because Grant Gustin and John Wesley Shipp both said we were never talked to. Like nobody ever came to us and said, "Hey, do you want to be in the Flash movie?"
They were willing to participate.
And they both said if they would have asked us, we would have definitely been in there. We would have definitely shown up for a day of shooting just to shoot. All they literally needed to do is put the suits on and do. All right, you're good. But and that's unfortunate. I am interested to see where the DC universe starts up again after this. But for what it is, it's a decent movie. I'd give it a solid 6 or 7.
I'll keep mine short. I will say highlights of this. George Clooney was my favorite part. In terms of Batman sequences, I think I really love the fact when Keaton's Batman was kicking Russian ass.
See, that's the thing.
That was
though.
cool.
You Batman sequence is the first thing you said about this movie.
Clooney, Keaton kicking ass, and then I really love the Batman scene with Ben Affleck when the tanker blows up, man dies. Batman still kills people. Like just
he's still shooting at people.
He's still
He had
shooting.
guns.
Ben
He had
Affleck's
guns.
still at it,
He was like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
But my favorite part is that to save the kids, right? He throws tire or what is it called, the spiked wire stuff to divert the truck.
Oh yeah,
And
what
then-
about if he would have driven through it?
Exactly. What if they didn't
He
care?
would've killed those
exactly.
kids.
Those kids are done. But no, he's like, okay, let's do this. But my favorite part is when he goes through the tanker and he does a spiral to get out and goes. I was like, that's classic Batman. That was pretty cool.
I will say Ben Affleck is a dope Batman.
He is.
He's a dope Batman.
Yeah, I don't understand the haters. The haters are dumb.
I loved his blue cowl.
Yeah.
The blue cowl looks so good.
Good.
The gray and
parts that
blue.
I-
That looks so good.
The parts I didn't like, hated young Barry. I couldn't stand him because every time he spoke, I couldn't pull away from the fact that it was Ezra Miller and not a Barry Allen. At least old Barry sounded like Barry Allen in certain sequences when he tried to sound smart.
Dude, I couldn't get over his laugh. That pissed me off.
Yeah, it was so dumb.
Dude, I was
It was
like,
dumb.
even early Barry never did this.
No.
Like inside the Justice League, he never
No.
did this.
No.
I don't know where he thought that was a good idea.
I cannot, because I tried my hardest to separate Ezra Miller and the Flash. I couldn't. They became the same person with the young Barry. So overall, I think the
How
movie
was it?
was like
How was it?
What?
Good?
What?
your break.
How was your break?
Oh, good.
Good.
You're good.
Yeah.
Okay. I will give it a 6 out of 10, a solid 6 out of 10, only because there were moments where I was like really invested in it, and then it pulled me away, and then I was back in it, and then it just didn't. It's not an 8 out of 10 for me. That's all I'll say.
I think that there should have been an Eobard Thawne.
No, Reverse Flash.
Reverse Flash should have been in this movie.
Or teased.
Or teased.
Or they
That's
maybe
what I was
teased
saying.
him, but they took it out because they couldn't make a sequel.
Show a yellow dude stabbing his
You know
mom
what?
and just
Straight up, just like.
I did this, Barry. It was me.
All right. Well, we got to wrap up this issue of Keeping Up with the Nerds, guys. Thank you so much for joining us here, Keeping Up with the Nerds, issue 152. If you guys want to hear more about our thoughts, please let us know down below in the comments section. Did you watch the Flash movie? What scenes did you like? What scenes didn't you like? Are you even watching this because Ezra Miller's in it, or is that a reason why you're not watching it? Don't forget to check out our...
I thought you were asking the viewers, like, are you watching this podcast? Like, why are you even watching it? I'm like, why would you ask him that?
It's their choice. KeepItUpWithTheNerds.com for all the up-to-date information. Follow us on our social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Don't forget to check out our audio platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Podbean. And go subscribe to our YouTube channel so you guys can see those exclusive shorts that only appear there. Check out our TikTok as well, because we'll be posting Reels, Instagram, and YouTube is the other place you guys can see those Reels, little snippets of the podcast that we think are pretty funny to show you guys. With that said, Rene, ready to sign us out?
This has been Keep Up with the Nerds, issue 152. My name is Rene.
Nick.
This is Bryan.
Signing out from Undersea Comics. We'll see you all next time.
Do it. I dare you.
I'm going to be Ezra.